Collins, Mitrovic, really good.
So Johnny's going the Dragons. I'm going to stick with them as well by about 5 goals, I reckon. This afternoon they might get it done. So Thornton, Mitrovic and Collins start deep forward for Sandhurst, who kick to the club room's end to start us off. The Storm with Jaden Donaldson in the goal square will kick to the Sheepwash Creek end. Dean Goodridge holds the ball aloft. Crone and Martin will contest the ruck. As we finish up round 1 here at Tannery Lane this afternoon, the Dragons get their premiership defence underway and Martin wins it down, but Moorhead's able to scramble one outside and clear the football up towards O'Sullivan for the Storm. Attacking the footy hard there was Clydesdale coming off half forward for Strathfield. Say ball goes into dispute at ground level. Running over the top of it was Coghlan. Good hands out to Smith. They go towards the top of the goal square and Donaldson, who wrestles with McKinley at fullback for the Dragons. McKinley did well. Flicked it out to Wharton. Wharton gets it back to Cody Price, who goes across his goal face back to O'Sullivan. So some nervous moments for Sandhurst. And O'Sullivan's turned it over, but the mark, it has been paid. That was a very, very poor kick from Luke O'Sullivan. And the mark has been taken. It might be heavy side with the football. In fact, for the Storm, it's not. So the Storm will have the first shot at goal. It is Sam Heavyside, in fact, who's in number 7. So Sam Heavyside, back in Storm colours this season, will come in from 25 metres out, directly in front, and just sneak in the first goal of the game. So the Storm off to a very good start here at Tannery Lane. They are 1 straight. The Dragons are yet to score. We've played just over a minute in the opening term, thanks to Aussie Disposals. We take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM. Brett Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, good work by the Storm, putting pressure inside their forward 50 and creating that turnover, although the kick was pretty ordinary from Luke O'Sullivan. I'm sure he's trying to find a hole to hide him, but that's pressure in the forward 50 from the small blokes, creates those turnovers, and you get the opportunities out of that.
Looks like O'Sullivan's got the match up on Conway to start, so big job for young Luke.
Absolutely. Conway, it'll be interesting to see what sort of year he has now. Last year he was forced to play key forward roles because of some shortage they had up that end of the ground, but out on the side again, he's a wonderful player.
Back into the middle of the ground. Will be big Crone in the ruck against Martin. Heavyside comes back in the middle too, so he's covering a bit of groundwork. Up they go. Crone won the tap. It was swooped on the footy there by Coghlan. He'll put it inside forward 50, but defensively under pressure here, the Storm, a pack forms, and in fact there's going to be one for too high, and the umpire is awarded off half back now. The Storm will bring it to the wing. Contest. Big fly there from behind, attempted punch. It'll go over the back. Tracking the footy there was Don and couldn't get the football and will have a throw in. Centre wing, broadcast side, it is Storm, 1 goal 6. They're straight. The Dragons yet to hit the scoreboard, 2.5 minutes. The umpire, he'll hurl the ball back in. Big nice throw it was. Martin got the tap to the front of the pack. Good strong bustling work. No clean possession. It'll be flicked out in the direction of Brady. He couldn't get it away. The ball just treading water. Might have got one too high. The Storm, geez, it's willing in there.
Free kick paid by the out-of-zone umpire.
Advantage, this is Hall, and he'll take it from the wing.
So Hall goes long inside forward 50. Footy's going to come back though. Moorhead, and now there's a little bit of a wrestle off the ball. Getting in there was Fergus Payne. Stagg's involved. Donnan's involved. Wayne Mitrovic comes in to sort them out. And Jake Moorhead will just take his kick from right in front of our broadcast position on centre wing. Dean Goodridge was in there to just calm things down. So 3 gone. The Storm with the only goal on the board as yet. Moorhead goes short to Heavyside, then collects the handball received, runs through the centre of the ground, gets it on the right boot inside the forward 50. Conway flew high, couldn't take it. 40 out from the Storm goal. Well done, Josh Han. Picks it up and shows a clean pair of heels, bangs it back to centre wing. Dole and Payne fly. Payne thumped it away from Mitch Dole. Ground level for Parry. Couldn't take it. Brady by hand to Fergus Payne. By hand to Crone. The big ruckman loads up on the left boot, kicks a high ball straight down the throat of Cody Price, who had Geary bearing down on him in that forward pocket, but Price is able to take a good mark back with the flight of the ball. He kicks across the goal face once more, and in the defensive goal square, Hand's got it for the Dragons.
Han, well, he'll step around to play quite easily, then he'll run and carry, and he'll kick it beyond 50. Height is there, couldn't get the football, he hasn't had a clean possession as yet. Oh, it's going to come back into the forward zone now. Flying high there. Good work, Storm. Couldn't get a clean possession. Diving on the footy. 30 metres out directly in front. They're calling for a free kick. Umpire won't have a bar of it. He'll say, give it to me and I'll throw it up.
Pressure's high early, Fitzy.
Absolutely. Yeah, as expected. The first game of the year, everyone's up and about.
35 out from goal. Kroner's there. They're wrestling Martin. He got a good tap. They're going to bring it away here, the Dragons. Good work, Price. Underground scrubbing kick. It'll be all right. Martin was good enough. He just shovels it out. Geez, they're mucking around with a bit here, the Dragons. They're going to get away with it, though, and they'll bring it up to the wing in half back, in fact, with Coghlan. Too severe for him, and it'll go out of bounds. We'll have a throw in. 1 goal straight, 6. The Storm. The Dragons are yet to score.
Pushing up a lot of numbers around the footy at the moment, the Storm. They're really trying to lock it in early. So the boundary umpire will fire it back into play. On the broadcast side, just attacking side of centre for Strathfield's sake. Crone won it down. Heavy side was tackled and tackled hard. Ball doesn't come loose and a ball up. 5 gone in the opening term. Storm with the only score on the board, a major one. So it's a 6-point lead to the hosts here on Bendigo's Fresh FM. Joel Peterson, John Hunter, their Bendigo Interleague coach, Brett Fitzpatrick. Neither ruckman was able to get the tap. Parry did well, socketed off the ground, went back and got his own footy. He was tackled by Bonnie, had the ball knocked loose. Bonnie goes back in, Dole comes away with it. He was corralled by Payne, who then put his head over it, shovelled it out to Donnan. Donnan had it and lost it, went back and got it. Then handballs to Heavyside, right in front of us. Heavyside collected by Wharton as the ball goes out of play, out of bounds on the full, and it's on again, and it will be a 50-metre penalty. So Sam Heavyside got in there to protect older brother Jake, and it'll be 50 metres. It'll go the way of Tim Martin. So the kick was out of bounds on the full, and it'll be downfield from there. So Martin will go inside the forward 50, probably to about 40 metres out from goal. And Big Marto will have a shot on goal for the Dragons. It's going to be to about 30 metres out, but on a 45-degree angle. And he's a bit of a spotty kick. Sometimes he'll nail these ones, Fitzy, and other times he'll put it 10 metres out of bounds on the full.
He backs himself in front of goal, but his consistency is probably not that great.
Yeah, he'll certainly tell you about him when he kicks him, though, Marto. That's the good thing about the young man. So Tim Martin for the Dragons' first of season 2017. Starts his approach from 40 metres out. It starts right, it goes way left, and it's out of bounds on the full. So he probably won't be telling anyone about that one. Ball will be brought back into play in the last line of defence by Torrin Petrie. So 6.5 gone in the opening term. The Storm are 1 straight. The Dragons are yet to score thanks to Aussie Disposals on Bendigo's Fresh FM, and it's a bit of a fiery start out here at Tannery Lane, Johnny.
Yeah, it is. Petrie, he'll kick it beyond 50, but juggling mark might have been taken out there, outer side of the ground with Han. Han now, he looked to bring it to the hot spot. A lot of Storm players. Oh, Specky! Oh! Good grab it was defensively. Plays on. He was like a jumping jack. Oh, geez, I was up and about then, Joel. They kick it beyond 50. Oh, trouble there is Bonnie.
No, he legged. Tackle slipped down.
And he'll take a free kick. So off half-back broadcast side.
Probably a little bit fortunate there, Lockie Bonnie.
1 goal, 6 the Storm. The Dragons yet to score. He'll kick it long to the wing. Up they'll fly. Got a lot of that foot. He couldn't quite grab it. There was Stringer. Ends up with Johns to half forward. It was a poor kick. Intercepted there by, is it Green? Han with the footy. They'll share it around defensively here. The Dragons to half back, and a good mark has been taken there by Joel Wharton. Joel Wharton, he'll go laterally to the opposite side of the ground.
Yeah, it's a good kick. He finds O'Sullivan on the outer side. He goes short toward the scoreboard and finds McKinley. So Gus McKinley's got the football, just defensive side of centre wing on the outer side of the ground, kicks towards half forward. Thornton underran the football. Getting back there is Johns. He collects, fires a handball inboard. Now they work it to Simmons. Simmons was tackled by 1, 2, 3 Dragons, brought to ground, couldn't get rid of it. And a ball up just forward of centre for Sandhurst. Struggling to move the footy with any conviction either side. The Dragons' defence after the under siege early, they're just starting to win a little bit more of the ball around the contest, Fitzy.
Yes, they're starting to open up. That edge is coming off, but the second and third disposals have been inconsistent from both sides.
He's heavy side towards half forward, and a good mark taken by Donaldson, but he's too far away. Had an unguarded goal if he wanted to go to it. He sees Stringer in the forward pocket. That's where he goes, and that's a beautiful kick. Terrific delivery from JD. Stringer's mark, 20 out, slight angle right of centre. He should go back and kick their second.
That was good work by the big fella. They moved it quickly, opened up the forward line, and had some space. The Sandhurst guys didn't get enough time to get back.
JD's finally got the message through the Darryl that he wants to play forward, so he'll be very happy about that. Here's Stringer. He kicked 3 in their final game last year. Comes in and has hit the inside of the post. So just pulled it a little bit, did Brad Stringer, and hits the inside of the left-hand goalpost. 1-1 the Storm, yet to score the Dragons. 9.5 gone in the opening frame. we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM. Thanks to Bendigo Mitsubishi from Tannery Lane this afternoon.
They don't muck around Sandhurst. They're playing the opposite side of the ground. I'll kick it beyond 50. Johns is there, however, there for the Storm. Gets a little give towards the boundary line. Now a long kick inside forward 50. Got the hands on the ball was Clydesdale. Couldn't make a clean possession. We're still 40 out from goal. Hard up against the line. They're flicking it around here, the Storm. They're trying to release. They will. They'll come to the back door. That was okay to Simmons. Simmons a little short, dinky kick. Over there with the footy. It's Harvey. That's my man. I should have picked him up. He's got the number 23 Guernsey on. He'll kick it long inside forward 50 at ground level. This is Sandhurst and they're away.
So good kick found Green. Green got it by hand to O'Sullivan, who's under pressure. Back to Alex Wharton, who tries to find Seb Green, who tried to protect the space of the ball drop. Donnan was right there with him. Now it comes back to Bonnie, left half forward, 65 metres out. Tees up to the hot spot. High ball, who's getting back there? Dragons defence does well. Comes down to Clydesdale at ground level. He fires it to Conway by hand. Conway tried to find a teammate, couldn't. Montague's there for the Dragons. Bonnie wraps him up.
Oh, free kick, is it?
And no, the umpire almost just slipped over, I think.
Oh, I think he might have.
I think he just lost his balance. I thought he went for the holding the ball, and I think he was just trying to stay upright.
Yeah.
So we'll have a ball up 30 metres out from the Strathfield Say goal in the left forward pocket. The Storm 1-1. The Dragons yet to score. 11 gone opening term.
Martin wins the taps of the Dragons, but swooped on it there by looked like Sharp with a left footer. That's his first possession into the hot spot. A whistle on play. Free kick
coming to the Dragons. To Storm.
JD. So Donaldson, so it must have been a hold off the ball, Fitzy.
Power forward. I couldn't quite see, but I think that would have been the situation. John, JD didn't appear to be in that marking contest.
Kicking to the Sheepwash Creek end, directly in front. He'll snap this up for sure. Absolutely. We'll get a good look at it. In he comes, kicks through it, makes the goal umpire work.
Good luck finding that.
Right into the creek, that's for sure. That's a major. That's their second, the Storm. They go to 2 goals, 1-13. Sandhurst yet to hit the scoreboard. And we've travelled 5 minutes, well, even longer than that, I think, Joel, 11 minutes into the first. Thanks to Bendigo Mitsubishi as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
It was good stuff from Donaldson again, and they're just finding all the opportunities forward of centre at the moment, Fitzy.
They are, and they've probably got a little advantage with the breeze going that way, but they are moving the ball a bit cleaner than what Sandhurst are, and their defensive pressure around the midfield and on the half-back is bottling up Sandhurst's movement when they get a chance.
As we called, the new footy is coming out. They can't find that one.
Pay the kids
I think
a nice pole to go and
I
get.
reckon that football's somewhere around Eagle Hawk. He kicked that a long way, JD. He was on the MCG a couple of years ago on Grand Final Day in a kicking competition, so he's got a fairly hefty right boot on him. And certainly put it to good use there, as Callan Geary does, to send it back into the centre for Dean Goodrich. They'd love to have him out there. Fitzy, Callan Geary to give him a little bit of run this afternoon, the Storm.
Well, the way they're going at the moment, they probably don't need him. They're going all right.
Very true, 13-point lead. The thoughts of Bendigo Interleague coach Brett Fitzpatrick with us this afternoon on Bendigo's Fresh FM. The Storm 2-1, the Dragons yet to score. We're back in the middle, flying high and winning that tap down decisively. Doing some good work was Powell for the Dragons. Geary goes through, maybe kicking in danger. Adam Parry certainly thought so. Comes out now. Well done, Collins. Beautiful feed by hand to Wharton. Wharton goes to Thornton inside. Forward 50. Big grab for Bear. No, couldn't take it. Now the Dragons have got numbers coming outside defensive 50. Heavy side got it to Bonnie. Over the top there for Harvey. Martin was run down by Johns and gone. Couldn't get a handball to that big Timmy Martin, and Sean Johns has got the football. He sends it towards in the centre of the ground, looking for a teammate there in pain. Wharton almost stole it from him. Montague goes in, did well, put his head over it, trying to handball it out. Couldn't find a teammate on the end of it. Payne goes in. Bonnie and Martin wrestle for the footy. Harvey goes in. He's wrapped up by 3 Dragons. Dean Goodrich calls for it, and right in front of us we will have a ball up. Centre wing, broadcast side, Storm by 13 points. We've played 13 and a half in the opening term, thanks to Powers Country Express on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Could be sensing a little bit of a premiership hangover here. They just need to settle there. Well, they just need to settle in this first term there. Joel, the Storm
very early with that one, Johnny.
Yeah, why not? Joel Wharton bangs the footy up forward, but off half-back a mark's been taken there by Lockie Bonnie.
Just haven't settled into the game yet, the Dragons, have they, Fitzy?
No, not at all. There's not showing much composure at all.
Bonnie goes to Payne. They're looking to cross it to the opposite side of the ground, which is interesting. They didn't want to go down broadcast side. Over the top receiving a handball, there was Jacob Heavyside. He goes to a teammate, finds, it looks like Simmons. Simmons up to the wing. They're away here through Moorhead. Moorhead would kick it long, inside forward 50. Bouncing footy, hard up against the line. Sharp
Free
might have
kick.
been held without the footy.
Yeah, free
he
kick.
was free kick, and he's going to take a shot at goal deep in the forward pocket.
Played it like a true small forward, that one, Sharpie. Just accentuated it nicely.
I'll ask you about this, Fitzy. They could have gone right down the broadcast side wing here, and they elected not to. They elected to go backwards and down the scoreboard wing as Sharp comes in, and geez, it was always going to miss. That was a minor score. So it takes a Storm to 2-2-14. Sandhurst are yet to score. We've travelled almost 15 minutes into the first. Thanks to Bendigo Mitsubishi as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Minari's got the footy in the back pocket for the Dragons. He wants to come across his goal. Does. It's a nice measured ball for Han, who marks in the opposite back pocket, in the Strathfield, say, road side of the ground. So Han's got the footy. He chips short to Alex Warden, who had to attack it. He was under pressure. Ball came inside defensive 50 again for the Dragons. Robertson lurking there. Han has to go back in and get it. They're going to get a free kick, but they won't get the advantage here, Sandhurst. So Josh Han will have to take his kick, 30 out from their goal. Just having a bit of trouble clearing their defensive 50. Certainly the Storm, every time you come here, I think they understand their home ground very well, as you'd imagine, and I think this side of the ground is the dead side to attack on, the side that we're on, the broadcast side. Through the go they go now, Sandhurst. They've got it out toward the scoreboard, centre wing on the outer side of the ground. Holmes got it to Green, who popped it over the top for Coughlin, who marks just inside the field of play on centre wing. Now they come inboard and they've set this up really well, Sandhurst. Island's marked at centre half back. He had Robertson on for a moment. He goes further than that for the switch. Donaldson bears down on Price. Price did well. Knocks it back inside the defensive 50 towards McKinley, who had to be clean, was run down. Great tackle, Sharp. Terrific pressure from the Strathfield Say Storm forward line. And Lockie Sharp's got it. He'd be right on the 50. Left of centre on a 45-degree angle, but I reckon he might just like his chances from here, Lockie. He missed the last one, comes in, sends it on its way. Has it just snuck in? He's just put it across the face. It's through for one behind. 2-3-15, the Storm. Dragons yet to score. 16.5 gone. Opening term, thanks to Powers Country Express. On Bendigo's Fresh FM, we take you inside local sport.
Cody Price, he'll look to kick it beyond 50. Finds Wharton with the footy. He'll go short. That's okay. Finds a teammate in Alex Wharton. Maybe we'll have to reassess which side we have the broadcast box from, Joel, because they're certainly
I'm thinking,
playing.
I don't want to run a phone line across the ground, Johnny. It's hard enough to get it to here.
Yeah, big fist there was by Callum Brady. He did well for the Storm. They're going to move it nicely, however, the Dragons. A long kick, heights up forward. He's 45 out. He's tracking the football near the boundary line. He gets tackled and probably tumbles over the line and will have a throw in. So it's 15. Playing 0, the Dragons, yet to hit the scoreboard.
They're struggling to move the ball, aren't they, Fitzy, the Dragons?
Yeah, that's the pressure from the Storm has been fantastic, especially, and starts deep in their forward line, which is, if you want small forwards being defensive, it's a win for you.
You can see the way that the wind is taking the ball on the boundary throw in there. Wharton thought he would come away with it. There's a free kick out of the contest, and it will go to Sandhurst, and Joel Wharton will take the kick. So Wharton's got it at left half forward, about 70 metres out from his goal. Sandhurst yet to score. They trail by 15 points at the 18-minute mark of this opening frame. Wharton gets on the left boot, measured inside forward 50. Mitrovic the target, couldn't mark, and a really good defensive mark's taken by Jake Heavyside. So back to the club this year, been plying his trade down Gippsland way. Heavyside ships inside the defensive 50 to Hall, and Hall can bang it to centre wing. He
does. He's got a player breaking for him who dropped the mark. He should have taken it. That was Trent Donnan. They've got time and they've got space, however, to half forward. Good strong lead by JD. This is Donaldson. He'll go quickly into the pocket. Good strong hard league, and Sharp just takes another chest mark. So he's racking up a few possessions. He's hard up against the boundary line. He's either going to dish off.
Wrong side for a left footer.
He looks like he might go around the corner. They're just directing traffic here, the Dragons, to make sure he doesn't step off the line, which he's not going to now. He's going to take a deliberate shot at goal. It's high, it'll come across the face. Oh, in fact, it swung in, and geez, they weren't too excited down there, but that was a major. So really good shot at goal in the end. 3-3. 3-3-21. Sandhurst are yet to hit the scoreboard. 20 minutes into the first, thanks to Choices Flooring, Bendigo Bulk Carpets, as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM. And that was a very nice shot at goal, Brett Fitzpatrick.
It was a lovely shot on goal, but again, Donaldson is the key forward. It's dominating the ground. I think he's leading up well, demanding the ball, and his disposal back into the forward 50 has been fantastic. He hit up Sharp again then, who nicely finished it off from the boundary.
And getting that isolation inside forward 52, the Storm, they've got a really open forward set up and paying dividends at the moment. They're the only side on the scoreboard as yet. 3-3 plays the Dragons yet to score, as we're going to have a secondary ball up in the middle. Shannon Geary in there with one orange boot and one green boot on, depending on which way he's facing. Up they go. Martin wins it down. Straight into the path of Coughlin, who has just had the ball knocked loose by Geary. Geary fed it out by hand. O'Sullivan and Johns in a foot race on the outer side wing. Johns got there first. Handball to Conway, who runs through centre wing, kicks it back inside forward 50. Trying to slide in was Clydesdale. He couldn't take the mark opposed by Minari, and off the half volley it comes, ricochets off his chest, and it'll be thrown back into play. Right on forward 50, outer side of the ground, the Storm by 21 points as we tick into time on in the first term.
Clydesdale, they named a horse after him or a town there, Joel? I don't know. It's
A
up
bit of
to you.
both, that's how good he is.
Now, Martin is doing the ruck work. He's got front position. He's a big man. He got his hand on it. Tried to go one-handed there with Simmons. Couldn't collect the football. Now we have a pack form, and at ground level, the umpire decides to...
He's a big man, Marto, so we better be careful about what we say about him.
Yeah, there's a lot of him. Now, Martin, he'll do the ruck work again. He went up uncontested. He just hit it straight there to Sean Johns. Sean Johns around the body, has a shot at goal and whacks it through. So
Looked like a set play.
It was. He must have called for it, Sean Johns. Increased the lead, 4-3. 27 now. Sandhurst are yet to hit the scoreboard, and we're in the shadows of quarter time here at Tannery Lane. Thanks to Aussie Disposals as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM. And
there have been a little bit of Fitzy, the old when your opposition out the back behind the ruckman, just saying, "Yep, Marto."
You can try anything when you're in your own forward line, won't you? But he read that very well, and then quick disposal on his boot and through for a goal.
Yeah, obviously, with Powell up against him at the moment, they're probably reading the tap of Martin and playing to his tap more than their own ruck, and certainly did it with effect there. So the Storm dominating as a centre square infringement here. I'd say it'll come back to the Dragons from the middle at will. So Martin will take it from the centre of the ground, hands off to Andy Collins, who delivers a left foot kick toward half forward, and Dole, who spins out of trouble, does well, kicks to the top of the square. Oh, good mark from Payne. Keelan Payne read it beautifully, coming in third man to that contest. And Payne's got the football in the back pocket. He's going to chip it to Callan Smith, who's in the club room's back pocket at the Tannery Lane end. 21, nearly 22 minutes gone, and the Storm are the only side on the board so far. 4-3 plays, the Dragons yet to score. Got around Mitrovic, did Smith. Runs outside his defensive 50, kicks for Geary. Parry stands in front, couldn't take the mark. Geary knocked Parry off the football. Crone came through. Collins went whack on Evie side. It's on again. Geary and Collins getting into it. Holmes is in there to try and drag Geary off him. Parry's in there as well, and it is going to be a free kick coming to Sandhurst. So... in fact, it's going the other way to the Strathfield, so Storm for, I'd say, Blair Holmes' involvement in that. So Heavyside will take the free kick, and he will chip it inside defensive 50 and find Matt Harvey. Storm by 27, 22 and a half gone opening term here at Tannery Lane on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Here goes to Jake Heavyside, who'll take it up to the outer side wing. Good collect there, one-handed, then shoveled it out there with JD, our man. Now picked up there by Luke O'Sullivan. He'll try to drive it forward. Good contest forming over on the outer side of the ground. A lot of players around this footy. It spills towards a boundary line. It's with the Dragons. They'll share it around. Comes to the back door to Billy Robertson. Billy Robertson, he'll come inboard to Ireland. Ireland will now come laterally to find McKinley. McKinley to the wing to Montague. Montague, broadcast side, true centre wing position. He'll go try to put it in the path of Mitrovic. Might bounce nicely for him. It didn't. They've still got possession. Hyatt shovels the ball in the direction of Dole. He couldn't get it. Now it's a Storm there away and into the middle of the ground, and it ends up with our man Harvey.
Yeah, your man kicks to Brady on the outer side, so Caelan Brady marks centre wing, outer side of the ground, gets back on the left, tees it up top of the square. Sharp one out over the back. He might run onto this. Lockie Sharp, it'll favour him. He runs on, snaps with the left boot and dribbles home a brilliant goal. Storm are all over the top of the Dragons at the moment. 5-3-33, Strathfield say Sandhurst have not troubled the scorers. 24 gone, opening term, thanks to Bendigo Mitsubishi on Bendigo's Fresh FM, and he read that brilliantly there. Fitzy did Lockie Sharp, and a really good transition play.
He's renowned for those sort of conversions, and he did that very well, and they got the ball inside 50 again, and there's no chance for the opposition to set up any defensive structure, and Lockie Sharp one-on-one is as good as anyone.
Back into the middle of the ground. Jeez, they're under pressure here, the Dragons.
They've got height we haven't seen too much
No.
of yet. There's a few players that have just been down on their numbers so far, and now Height, Collins and Holmes are on the ball, so they've got their number one outfit in the middle, Johnny.
Yeah, and here come the Storm again. It's driven long inside forward 50 where they've looked dangerous, but good defensive mark by the Dragons. Out to Montague, beyond 50, brings it up the wing. No, over the top by hand. He looked to kick it but didn't find Ireland. He lost the footy.
How
and
many
he's
times have
pinged.
they been run down in his first term? It's got to be 4 or 5. Storm's tackling's been very, very good.
Just looked really slow. So true centre wing position now with the Storm. Alex Powell has the footy. He'll look to drive it long and does. Inside forward 50. It's 2-on-1. It's the Dragons. They've got the numbers. Martin's there. It spills to the back of the pack. Harvey is there. He tried to collect the football. It couldn't. It just tumbles across the boundary line and will have another throw in. 15 metres out. Scoreboard's 33, playing 0. It's the Storm. We're in the shadows of quarter time on Big Footy, Bendigo's Fresh FM.
And Darryl Wilson would be absolutely thrilled with his side's tackling pressure in this opening term. Ball's tossed back in, left forward pocket. Martin goes up. Crone might have had first hands to it, then got a kick, a boot to it, tumbled it to the goal square. O'Sullivan had it knocked away by Geary, flicked it out the back, Shannon Geary. They try and get numbers there, the Storm. 30 out from their goal. Holmes goes in on hands and knees. He tried to shovel it out as well, then goes back in again. Big pack, around 20 players around the football. Comes out for the Dragons to Minari, who bangs one on the boot. It'll only be, well, it's out of bounds on the full. Caelan Brady didn't quite get there in time, so Brady takes the free kick at right half forward, sends it back towards Stringer, who plays on, runs to 52, and then goes whack, and that looked like me on the first tee at Axdale, Johnny. That was nowhere near the mark.
Nah, Oob.
Yeah, it was. That was a 4-stroke penalty from Brad Stringer there, so out of bounds on the full, and the penalty free kick will be taken on the last line by Lee Coughlin. The Dragons yet to score. The Storm 5-3-33, and we've played 26 in the opening term on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Lee Coughlin, he'll drive it long, beyond 50. Up they fly, back of the pack. Big Thornton, he got his hands on the footy and took a nice grab. He is defensive side of centre wing, scoreboard side. He'll go short. Geez, it's extremely short. Still got it on the wing.
Set up the zone really well, Strathfield, so they've been doing that. Their press has been very effective.
The ball comes to half forward in the direction there of Mitrovic, who hasn't had a clean possession as yet. Holmes now grabs the football. He'll kick it to 50, but there's no one there. Didn't look at all, and it ends up with Callan Smith off half-back.
So the decision-making and the indecisiveness of Sandhurst brought about by this Strathfield say pressure. Conway's got it in the centre of the ground, kicks to half-forward, lovely ball for Brady, who could have turned and goes, just back pedals, goes inside 50, Donaldson, and whack! Oh, Collins gave him the old-fashioned coat hanger, and I can't believe no one's gone in and flattened young Andrew there, to be perfectly honest with you. Donaldson will stroll to the goal line.
Chinned him.
Yeah, that was interesting. So Donaldson will go to the goal line, kick his second of the contest, and Strathfield say have all the running in the opening term. 6-3-39. Sandhurst are yet to score. Another searing bit of transition football from the Storm. 39-point margin, closing in on quarter time thanks to Aussie Disposals on Bendigo's Fresh FM. And Fitzy, to say we didn't see this coming would be somewhat of an understatement.
Yeah, I might have to revisit where I was assessing things. Again, the ball movement, the delivery inside forward 50, Donaldson led and demands and gives an opportunity for the guys, and Brady was a nice disposal inside.
Fitzy, was that bordering on a little bit more than a 50 in the AFL? I reckon they might have had a good look at that with the video evidence later in the week.
Be interesting to see if any of the umpires off the contest have noted anything down.
Martin taps it in the direction of Coughlin, couldn't find him, but it's all the Storm again. It has been for this opening term. Lockie Bonney, he'll kick it wide to the outer side wing. One-handed pick up, that was nice by Simmons. He's had a few possessions as well. They're sharing it around. Looks like Bonney's got it again. He gives it by hand to Brady. He's been pretty good as well. We're calling all of them this afternoon. They're doing really well on half forward. Now half back, Price. He was quick enough to parry. Parry will go long to half forward. He'll be looking there for Mitrovic. Couldn't find it. Overran the footy, and now the Storm will bring it back the other way.
Yeah, they will. Hall's got it on centre wing. He marks and plays on. Gets on the right boot. Sends it into the left forward pocket. It's too severe for Conway. Out of bounds on the full. So a penalty free kick will come to Luke O'Sullivan in the back pocket for the Dragons. Storm doing all the attacking, 29 gone opening frame, and they have a 39-point lead over the reigning premiers, who are still got goose eggs at this stage. The Easter eggs have come a couple of days early. They've got 3 of them on the board at this stage, Sandhurst.
Collins with the footy off half back now. He'll come to the wing. He's got Hyatt. He's been quiet.
Yeah, Hyatt has been quiet.
Broadcast side on the poet, don't know it.
Hasn't had much to do
Poor kick.
early, though.
Oh, Thornton comes through hard like a train. Martin front position over the top to parry by hand. They're running. That was a poor disposal of the football. They've got the numbers. Thornton there tries to back up. Picks it up now. He's tackled. Good, hard, bustling work by Cal Smith, but it comes out to Martin for the Dragons. He goes by hand. That's okay to Walsh. Walsh tries to dish it off. He can't, but it's all with the Storm, and they're away again off half-back.
Yeah, they are. Moorhead's off and running through the centre of the ground. Kicks it to half-forward. Donaldson slides in and marks. There's no one home. JD's got an unguarded goal. Load up, JD. Just go whack. No one. He's getting there. He elects to do the team thing and sends it out wide in front of Heavyside, who bats it on to Johns. Johns goes inside the forward 50. Back with the flight. Conway couldn't take it. O'Sullivan's there. Clean handball to Coughlin. And Lee Coughlin can just steady things down. Good kick to the centre of the ground and finds Stagg. 30 minutes gone. Opening term. The Storm by 39. Stagg sends it wide. Brady gets there. Montague's there as well. And Montague takes it on centre wing.
We're away here. Big chance for Holmes. In the middle, he'll step around a player. No, dish it off by hand to Coughlin. Coughlin now dishes it off. That's okay. Through Wharton. Siren sounds as he bangs it inside forward 50 and no result. Well, interesting 6-3. 39 the Storm, and as you rightly said, duck eggs for the Dragons, Joel.
Yeah, absolutely. So the Storm with a 39-point lead at quarter time here at Tannery Lane, and their tackling pressure's been high, the physicality's been high, and it's a fumbly and an indecisive Sandhurst that we've seen in the opening term. The Storm 6-3, the Dragons yet to score after the opening term of play here at Tannery Lane. The second quarter coming up right after this. In a moment, we continue with more live football on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
I reckon, but
I think the turning circle on Big Metro is as good as it may once have been either, so probably not helping him there. Let's get the second term underway. The Storm by 39 points over the reigning premiers. Crone and Martin renew acquaintances in the ruck here on Bendigo's Fresh FM at Tannery Lane. Conway tackled Parry off the footy, got nothing for it. Adam Parry came to Height. Height's kick was smothered, and it ricochets towards half forward for the Storm, where Moorhead sets chase against Parry. Just shoved him off the footy, bangs it inside the forward 50. Price did well to knock it away from Stringer. 50 out from the Dragons' defensive goal. Wharton kicks a high ball to the wing, finds its target. Martin marks on centre wing, and they can set something up here, the Dragons.
Yeah, Martin's been pretty good. He'll go to half forward. Up they fly, no clean possession to the back door. It's good work there by Payne for the Storm. Off half back, they're going to work it again down the line. Hall overran the football. Coughlin is there, dishes it off by hand to Martin. He'll go back also again to O'Sullivan. He's been okay. He'll kick it to the wing, and it tumbles over the line, and we'll have another throw in.
Collins has been quiet early too. He's been pretty well opposed, but hasn't touched it too much.
39-39 the Storm. The Dragons are yet to score as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
The thing that Andy Collins has had his hands on most in that first quarter was Jaden Donaldson's nose. Ball thrown back in across half forward for the Dragons. The Storm again with a clearance. They're getting smashed around the ball at the moment, Sandhurst. This one comes to Nick Clydesdale in the centre of the ground, one of the new recruits for Strathfield. Say, lovely kick for half forward. Moorhead runs to 55, delivers it inside forward 50. Not a great kick for Sharp, paddled it to his own advantage. Hands right there with him, draws the 50-50, does well, throws him on the ground, dives on top of the footy. Sharp wraps him up. And we'll have a ball up, 40 out from the Storm goal in the left forward pocket. Good contest between those two, good physical stuff. The Storm have locked it inside forward 50. As we saw in the first term, kicking to the Tannery Lane end here in the second quarter.
Up they go in the ruck. It falls to the front of the pack, hard up against the boundary line. Storm will try to work it. They work it nicely. Ended up with Crone. Crone will go around the body. But good defensive work there by Alex Wharton. He'll kick it beyond 50. Tracking the football there will be Mitch Dole. Couldn't collect it. Hard up against the boundary line. Good hard work also by Holmes, who's trying to work himself into this game. As the ball goes over the boundary line again, we'll have another throw in.
He hasn't been their worst in the opening term, young Blair.
39, the Storm playing the Dragons. They haven't scored. They haven't hit the scoreboard. Martin will go up in the ruck to Coughlin. Coughlin now, a short little kick, finds Collins.
He is
forward of centre now. He'll kick it long and high. He'll look for Mitrovic. He's at the back of the pack. Thornton's at the front. He got a lot of that footy, but it's all the Storm again, and they'll just bring it back the other way.
Tell you one thing they haven't got at the moment, Sandhurst, is a crumbing forward. Had no one at ground level then between Mitrovic and Thornton. Handball off to Hall here, runs through centre wing for the Storm, kicks toward half forward, over the head of Clydesdale. So Sullivan gets back, Storm and Sharp are right there. Hemmed in on the boundary line, got it off to Hand to Price. Price's handball knocked down by Hall, who gets to 52 metres out, kicks it inside forward 50. It was a poor kick for Geary. Minari did well to body him up off the footy. Handball to McKinley, handball to O'Sullivan in the back pocket. Cricks across his goal face. Martin will set chase after this footy. Takes a bounce, Big Timothy. It was a nervous looking bounce, so he decides I'll go for the second and try and improve on it. Gallops outside the defensive 50, almost kicked it straight down the throat of Sam Simmons on the outer wing. Simmons did well though, collected a little rove from his teammate, got the ball back in the hands of the Storm. They come to half forward once more. Donaldson and McKinley renew acquaintances. McKinley's able to thump it over the boundary line and draw touch, and we'll have a throw in. Between wing and half forward on the outer side for the Storm. It's fast stuff at the moment, no change to the quarter time score. It's still the Storm 6-3. The Dragons yet to trouble the scorers.
Umpire will throw it in. It's Crone and Martin. Crone won the tap on that occasion. Johns is there. Might have got one too high by Coughlin. And it will be a free kick, bottom of the pack.
Doesn't look to be anything too structurally different between the two sides to start this second term.
They'll come again, Sandhurst, into the middle of the ground. Good diving mark. That's Stagg. Stagg now. He'll go short, and what a poor kick off half back, Joel.
Yep.
They're just...
You can see the difference in their execution inside forward 50, can't you, Fitzy, between Sandhurst and Strathfield, say?
Absolutely. The Sandhurst guys are putting it nowhere. It hasn't been to advantage at all yet.
Off half back. This is Brady now for the Storm. He'll come into the middle of the ground, looks for Conway, who takes a chest mark. He'll turn and go now. He'll look to drive it long inside forward 50. He's got a player on there in Stringer. Stringer takes it. He'll run and have a shot at goal, but it's a poor result. In fact, across the face, tracking the football is Donaldson. Goes to ground. Now gets one probably too high, I reckon. Diving over the top of him will be McKinley, and it's a free kick, and they play on quickly. Kicks it to Moorhead to a better position directly in front, and he'll have a shot on goal. Well, I know it's strange to say, Fitzy, but they look a little bit tired to me, Sandhurst, or fatigued or unfit. I don't know what it is, but I suppose if you're second to the footy, you're not really going to look quick.
Yeah, and the pressure makes your skill sets, puts pressure on your skill sets, so the pressure Strath is supplying is creating fumbles, and therefore the ball looks ordinary.
Jake Moorhead, poor kick. It didn't even make the
Pitching
distance.
wedge.
It's only metres out from goal. Johns is there, couldn't get it. A whistle on play, and we'll have a ball up 10 metres out directly in front. So that was a bit of a shank kick.
Yeah, he got nothing of that, did he, Moorhead? 5.5 gone opening term, second term. Storm 6-3, and they're camped inside forward 50. Dean Goodridge, that's a nice high arc on that ball up, Johnny. Crone goes up, wins it down. Oh, over the head from Sharp. High ball, only goes as far as the goal square. Joel Wharton's up. Sharp was thrown off it, didn't have the footy. No free kick paid out of that. Donnan goes through, tries to truck his way through it as Donnan comes out to Moorhead, kick smothered, flies up in the air. 25 out from the Storm goal. Clydesdale goes in. Price with a little bit of composure. Releases Holmes by hand, who flicks it to Walsh, who lost it between his legs. Well done, Fergus Payne. That was terrific. Got it to Johns. Johns will go by hand. Moorhead lines them up. He fires and he kicks the goal.
No, he doesn't. He
hit the post. Hit the inside of the post. That was a
good
very
build-up,
good bit of play, and it all started with Fergus Payne. So the first score on the board comes at the 6.5 minute mark of this second term. 6-4-40 the Storm. The Dragons are still yet to score, thanks to Aussie Disposals on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Mitrovic had a kick and gives it there to Holmes, who's in his defensive arc. Holmes is asked to play on, which he does. He'll send it to the scoreboard wing. He'll be looking for Thornton. It goes over the top of his head. Tracking the football there is Simmons. He gets the football. He'll come inboard. Good neat little kick to Cal Smith.
Interesting.
Cal Smith.
They look at them set up behind the ball here, the Storm, to get that switch every single time. They've got 2 numbers behind the footy all the time.
Brady now, it's been switched laterally. And you're right, Joel, you're spot on with your summation. This is Donnan now. He's with the football, sells a little bit of candy, bounces. That was probably too easy, I reckon, there, Fitzy. If you wouldn't like that if you're coach. Inside forward 50, sharp. Oh, outside of the boot, bouncing footy towards the goal line. And it's a minor score. Wow. Jeez. That takes the score now to 6-5-41. Yet to score Sandhurst. We've travelled 7 minutes into the second term. Thanks to Bendigo Mitsubishi as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Yet to score. They haven't looked like it, Sandhurst, to be perfectly honest. Price plays onto himself, kicks it outside defensive 50, not touched out of bounds, but it's outside the defensive 50, and of course he played onto himself, so it's not a free kick, it's just a boundary throw-in. And I think Jake Moorhead a little bit overzealous trying to claim that one. They just haven't had any option inside forward 50 really, Fitzy. Neither of their big targets have taken a mark. They've had nothing at ground level, the Dragons.
No, and they're under pressure when they're moving the ball from the midfield inside 50, so the disposal hasn't been that clean either.
Ball in. Martin Powell went flying over the top of him. Free kick coming the way of the Storm. In fact, the Dragons it is in Collins. So Collins marks centre wing on the outer side of the ground. Comes inboard. That's a better delivery to Walsh. Xavier Walsh 80 metres out from goal. Chips it up inside the forward 50. 2-on-1 for the Storm. Donnan went back with the flight. Couldn't take it. Montague shoveled it out to Wharton, who bent it around the corner inside forward 50. Again, a hurried entry. And it's marked by Keelan Payne, and numbers here for the Storm once more. Bonnie's got it at half back. 8.5 gone. Second term, the Storm by 41 over the reigning premiers who have not scored.
Over to Payne. Payne's kick was smothered by Alex Wharton, and the ball tracks towards the line, and we'll have another throw in. So on half forward here for Sandhurst. Broadcast side, 41 playing zip at the moment. Start taking bets when they'll get their first score on the board because they just have not looked at it. Thornton's doing the ruck work. He's got front position. He takes it. Good, nice little tap. It's no one's advantage. Green got one too high. Umpire didn't agree. Pack forms and whistle on play, and again at half forward we'll have another ball up.
They're laying tackles, Fitzy, but importantly for the Storm, their tackles are sticking at the moment.
Yes, they've been very good. All those little 1% of rules that everyone educates people on, they're doing very well.
Swooped on by Coughlin. He'll go around the body into the hot spot. Bouncing footy. But defensively, again, they just are working so hard here, the Storm. They'll see it over the... Well, no, hard up a bit against the boundary line. Umpire's letting it go all around the body. Picked up a snap-it goal there, Joel.
Yeah,
it is Walsh with the footy and popped it through. So for their first, it comes halfway through the second. Sandhurst are 1 goal straight, 6. Trailing the Storm 6 goals, 5, 41. And that is thanks to Bendigo Mitsubishi as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
It looks something out of nothing almost there, Fitzy.
Yeah, that's the reward came from just a scrambled effort and, no real structure, just an opportunistic moment.
Storm still sitting up behind the ball. Dragons are on the board, but still getting beaten in the middle of the ground, even with their sort of prime on-ball brigade in there. Is there any sort of structural changes you'd make at this stage, Fitzy? Is there anything you can do about it?
Oh, you'd probably have to get as many of your guys, forwards have to come up the ground. You probably want lead-up options instead of kicking it in long.
So Robertson out the back of the stoppage. Here go the Storm again. Here's Harvey inside forward 50. Donaldson the target, standing in front. Clydesdale couldn't mark, then collected the football but was taken off it by McKinley. Geary spun through the traffic, put his head over it. Wanted to be taken high, and the master of getting taken high in the Bendigo Footy League, Shannon Geary, plies his trade once more, even though he was on the ground. Sends it inside the forward 50. Stringer, too easy, plays on over the top. Donaldson marks, and they get a quick answer, the Storm. That is too easy.
Absolutely too easy. They were just unmanned, uncontested, and walked into an open goal.
Took them 40 minutes to kick a goal, and it took the Strathstorm 40 seconds to come back the other way and slam one through. The Storm are up by 41, 7-5-47. The Dragons 1 straight 6, 11.5 gone. Second term, thanks to Aussie Disposals. We take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM, and as a coach, that's the last thing you want, Fitzy.
Absolutely. You work so hard to get one on the board for yourself, and then it's just nullified in the blink of an eye.
Back into the middle of the ground. Collins has got Johns, who's been pretty good this afternoon as well.
Conway on the ball as well now for the Storm.
Up they go in the ruck. They won it on that occasion.
Decisively.
Big jump there by Alex Powell. He did really well as the ball moves to half forward for the Dragons. Out of side. That's the scoreboard side. Just tracking the footy. They'll get a hurried kick. And a good mark by Thornton. 70 out from goal now. Thornton, he'll look to go. He does. He dishes it off by hand to Joel Wharton. Joel Wharton will now kick it inside forward 50. Up they fly. They've got the numbers here, the Storm. Picking up the footy, Brad Stringer, and he'll clear it.
Yeah, he will. Kicks to half back and finds Powell. So Powell's got it 60 metres outside his defensive goal. Kick to Moorhead, who should have marked that. Turned too quickly. Spent it before he had it. Ball on the deck. Ireland forces it loose. Got it to Stagg. Stagg 80 metres out. Chips a little left foot ball around the corner to Green, who was mown down by Stringer. And Seb Green's got the footy right on the 50. Goes back and assesses his options. It'll test him. He's pretty prodigious kick of the football, Sebby Green.
Has he got the leg, Fitzy? You've had a bit of a look at him over the years.
No, he'd be struggling, even that little bit of a breeze up his tail. But, we're here to be proven wrong.
Left footer, Seb Green. He'll have to kick it from about 52 metres out, directly in front to the Sheepwash Creek end. It's a long ball, goes right to the line. Thornton flies, marks, handballs to Coghlan, who goals. So they create another one, Sandhurst, and they get their second. 2 straight 12, Storm 7-5-47, 13 gone, second term thanks to Bendigo Mitsubishi. We take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM. Terrific mark from Thornton there on the last line.
It was, so he's taken a couple of grabs in the last few minutes, so it offers a few opportunities going forward, but again, for a big fella taking a mark right on the goal line is a bit disappointing from the defensive end.
Thornton, he was, even in the first term, he was offering a target and he was offering a contest, so...
had to sort of get up the ground.
Yeah, he did, Joel. You're 100% right. Now, Conway and Walsh are in the middle as well.
Having just a bit of push and shove, Johnny.
Yeah, Walsh is there now, takes possession. In fact, it was Parry. He kicks a long high ball to half forward, looking for Coghlan. Needs to keep his feet. Boundary line wins. Right up his hammer with Sam Simmons and couldn't collect the footy.
A challenge now for Sandhurst Fitzy is to string a couple together in a row.
Absolutely. They need to work hard, get one or two, and then bottle it up again to close down Strath's run and hopefully get another 3 before half time.
It'll be Conway and Thornton on this occasion. Thornton, he won the tap. Storm have got the numbers. Over the top, that was okay. We're moving it up to the wing now, but it's in fact the Dragons. They're going to bring it back the other way through Wharton. Wharton will kick it long inside forward 50, but there's no one home. And it is Payne with the footy, and Payne will cross it over to Harvey.
Terrific young player, Keelan Payne. Harvey's got it in the back pocket, chips it short for Bonnie. Just outside defensive 50, Lockie Bonnie on the broadcast side. 7-5-47 the Storm. The Dragons 2 straight 12. Halfway through this second term on Bendigo's Fresh FM. Hope you're enjoying the call. Joel Peterson, John Hunter, Brett Fitzpatrick with you this afternoon. Glenn Gordon back in the studio. Simmons plays on now and gets it to Smith on centre wing. The Storm come once more. Smith to half forward for Geary. Geary's got it 55 metres out at left half forward. Looks up. Where's Sharp? Helicopter ball inside forward 50. He's marked by Wharton, who copped a hit from Johns, who copped a hit from Ireland. It was a bit of the old concertina. They come outside defensive 50 to O'Sullivan, and he chips short to Montague on centre wing.
Montague will go over the top. He's got a player breaking from him, Dole, who he overran the footy. Good pressure there applied by Stringer. He's been pretty good this afternoon and sees it over the boundary line.
Good work.
Probably deliberate if you're playing AFL, but we won't have a bar of it here. So on half forward for the Dragons.
Not an easy man to catch, Mitchell Dole.
No, he's not. Umpire heaves it back in. Mitrovic's probably got one too high. Umpire didn't agree. He did the ruck work. Now it's with the Storm. They'll flick it around. Geez, there's some composure here by the Storm. They've just looked super, and they'll send it to the other side of the ground.
Oh, yes, Johnny.
That's it, my man, Harvey. Harvey, he'll go to inboard. Oh, I thought he might have mucked it up there, Joel, looking for Moorhead. They did, in fact, muck it up. That's a throw, isn't it? Surely, no. Umpire lets it go on half forward. Still good work, Dragons. Dragons under pressure. A lot of players around the ball and need a clean possession it is. And it's with the Storm and they're bringing it in the middle.
So Montague was taken quickly by Johns. Got boot to ball that a half forward. Holmes sits chase after the football. Picks it up. Flicks it over the top looking for Mitrovic. Couldn't get low down to pick it up. Ronnie, he gets it there. He handballs it and it ricochets back to Conway, who measures one outside defensive 50. Lovely kick and finds Johns. Johns between wing and half back on the broadcast side. 16.5 gone, second turn. The Storm by 35 points over the reigning premiers here on Bendigo's Fresh FM, thanks to Powers Country Express at Tannery Lane on Easter Saturday football. Johns plays on, drives a low ball down the line. Lovely kick for Harvey. Floated over the top of Stagg, and Harvey marks right in front of us, and it's your man. It's right in front of us, Johnny. You can take this one.
Have a shot, son. You're only 110 out. Harvey kicks it long, looking for Hall. That's himself. That's a grab. No, it's not. Umpire didn't agree. Picked up there by Moorhead. He'll kick it into the... Looking for Sharp. It's 1 on 2. Sandhurst have got the numbers, though, with Han. Han will deliver it outside 50. And look for Coughlin. Bouncing football. He'll track it. Collects it off a bounce. Now he'll go long to half forward. It's a good, long, strong kick. And a mark has been taken there.
Yeah,
it is to Height. Height with the footy. I'll tell you what, Fitzy, Mitrovic looked a man 38 years of age when he tried to pick up that ball with the hamstrings early, didn't he?
Yeah, those ones around your bootlaces at full speed aren't that comfortable.
Here he is. He's got the footy. He received it.
You just go back from the 60 and kick this and prove you're wrong.
A little bit of a gallop on the left. He's got a player on as well, and a mark's been taken by Andy Collins, and he'll go back and line them up. Fair distance from goal, but he's got a good leg on him, so distance shouldn't be a problem.
Good option too. They've been struggling with those deep entries to find a marking target, Sandhurst, so they spot up the short, and Collins will go back. Tough kick from here.
Don't tell Mitrovic I said that about him, because he's a pretty big man, Fitzy.
He's got a sense of humour, Johnny. You'll be fine.
All right, as long as he likes the banter. This is Andy Collins. Long ball, go to the line. Oh, with the hands on the footy, takes a grab. What? 3, 4 sets of hands on that footy.
2 in a row from Bear.
And Big Bear Thornton is going to line up. Would have to fall over to miss this one, Fitzy.
You'd be disappointed if that was the case, John, yes.
Yes, Big Thornton. He's just kicking to the Sheepwash Creek end. He's had a pretty good game here for the Dragons today. Kicks through the footy. Oh, good goal. That's a goal there to Thornton. That takes Sandhurst to 3 goals straight, 18, 7-5-47 the Storm. 18 minutes in the second term, thanks to Aussie Disposals, as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM. And Shane Cole is just dying to have a word to me.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't even know to not interrupt the callers,
Yeah,
Johnny.
that's right.
Australia's number 1 boundary rider, but he's trying to chew your ear off. That just a couple in the row now for the Dragons, Fitzy, which is give them a little bit of momentum heading into the halftime break.
Yes, it's and the movement inside from Coughlin to Height to Mitrovic and then across to Collins was nice and composed.
Something to build on, and the composure is something we haven't seen from them a lot. Martin had his legs taken out in the middle of the ground, and then Collins was dived upon by Conway. Coughlin got it toward half forward. Holmes did well, lost the footy, then dropped it and got it out to Martin, who flicked it over the top to Collins. Collins runs to 50 metres out. Andy Collins misses the hamburger with a lot. He looked very, very good while he was running, and then looked not quite as good when he was kicking. So he missed it narrow, out of bounds on the full. And the penalty free kick will be taken on the last line of defence for the Strathfield Say Storm. Looks like Petrie back there. 3 straight the Dragons, 7-5 the Storm. It's a 29-point margin as we tick into time on in this second term, and Petrie goes short. And I reckon that's your man there, Johnny. In fact, it might be Callan Smith, who switches it wide for Brady.
Yeah, Brady. Wow, good defensive work by Thornton. He's in fact ended up with a football. Unfortunately, his kick was smothered, but just liking his work. It'll be the Storm off half back. You've got to be quick here. Dragons, I reckon they've upped the intensity here. Collins has had some important possessions as well. Yeah, they did. So they've probably just managed to get rid of that little bit of a hangover that I thought they might have had for a quarter and a half, Joel. I'll have a throw up on.
It's normally about this time on a Sunday you start getting rid of a hangover, isn't it, Johnny?
Well, it's Saturday today too, Joel, I suppose.
So
we're
probably going to be hard.
Day up our sleeve. Now Thornton does
You
the
can just
ruck
avoid
work.
it altogether at this
Gives it to
stage.
Collins. Collins will just weave his way, then he'll go around the body. Didn't look. And deep in that back pocket sits the Storm with the footy.
Yep.
Player with that ball is Heavyside, and he'll send it to the opposite side, opposite back pocket.
So Jake Heavyside, well done from Smith, burnt Mitrovic, and kicks it toward the back defensive 50. Green got in there though to apply a clearing fist, and it's over the line. It'll be thrown back in at right half forward for the Dragons.
And a happy Easter Saturday to you, Joel, as well.
Thanks, Johnny. At least you know what day it is. I've got absolutely no clue. Plenty of people listening around the place. People in Conniva, my folks are in Conniva this weekend, Johnny. You got any idea where Conniva is?
I have. One of my ex-wives had her family over there, Joel.
There you go, up near Horsham.
Down to about 6 or 7.
Yes, ball on the deck, goes inside forward 50. Dragons with numbers. Stagg flicks it to Dole. Dole into the forward pocket, looking for Joel Wharton. Couldn't find him. Ball on the deck. over the boundary line. It'll be thrown back into play right forward pocket. Dragons would love to sneak one more, maybe two more here. They get that margin down to around 3 kicks before half-time. It'll be a very, very... Well, certainly be game on. Crone wins it down out the back of the contest. Storm with numbers through Simmons, who hacks it off the deck, looking for the boundary line, finding the boundary line. Another boundary throw in on the outer side, this time at half forward for Sandhurst.
Fitzy's in that club as well too, Joel. There's 3 of us, Fitzy, myself and Jock Clark. The ex-husband's club there, Fitzy.
It's a prestigious group to be in.
Yeah,
Johnny.
and if this keeps up, we're all going to start thinking it's our fault. As Holmes dives in after footy, couldn't get it. It's in fact with the Storm now. They send it long, hand though, for the Dragons, but umpire decided there was a free kick and infringement, and it will be the Storm with the football. They'll drive it long through Simmons. He's been pretty good, Joel.
Yeah.
I've liked his game.
Well, he helped you set the table up before the game, Johnny, so you've got to talk nicely about him.
Yeah, I do. They send it inboard, and it's Geary with those coloured boots. He'll give it to Hall. Hall in the middle of the ground. He'll try to step around a player and does it easy. Hall will drive it long. Inside forward 50 looking for Donaldson. Hands on the football. Falls to the front of the pack. He'll butter up his own ball. The ball tracks to 49 metres out from goal. Outer side of the ground. Dragons now with the numbers. They'll kick it long along the win. Harry Crone sees the football. Picks it up one hand.
1 minute action.
As easy as you like. Gives it to Conway. He'll dish it off to a teammate or bang it long inside forward 50.
Yeah, it's a low ball. Sharp's out the back here. Might be able to rove. Stringer crashes in. Inside forward 50 for the Storm. Montague does well and just thumps it outside the defensive 50. And Holmes stands under it in the centre of the ground. So that was lucky. Billy Holmes has got it. In the centre of Tannery Lane Oval. Kicks up towards half forward. Thornton flies. Can't take it. Smith at ground level. Shovels it out to Crone. Nearly gone. Got the handball to Geary just in the nick of time. And then into the centre of the ground. Good tackle, Wharton. This time the Dragons will get the free kick. So Joe Wharton's got the football. Plays on. 60 metres out. Sets it to the goal square. High over the back. Marks. Drops it. Picks it up. Snaps a goal. Dragons have their 4th. Christian Height has his 1st. Margin 23 points as we close in on half-time. 4 straight the Dragons, 7-5 the Storm. 24 plays 47 at the 24-minute mark of this second term. We take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM, thanks to Powers Country Express. And just read that one better, did Christian Height, Fitzy?
Absolutely, and Sandhurst are a bit more composed and taking some care when they're going inside their 50 now and helping their forwards use the ball a bit better. So Height fumbled the mark but recovered well and clear, got the goal.
The Dragons, well, they've settled now, as you said, Fitzy. They've shaken that little bit of a loose start. That was an understatement. And now they're starting to get some on the board. Martin, he won the tap. That was clever. It's with the Dragons in the middle. They're going to drive it long. Good kick it is to half forward. Thornton, good strong dukes again. 50 out. Takes a clean mark, and he's been good this afternoon to date. He's actually was looking to dish it off, but didn't. He's taking the responsibility.
We've seen them sort of at this distance fall short for most of the day, so although there is a little bit of breeze, maybe it's blowing across the goals.
Well, he likes his chances. He's certainly going to have a deliberate shot, Joel. So, kicking to the Sheepwash Creek end. This is Big Bear Thornton. Goes off his line a little, gets underneath it, it fades left and misses by a long way in the end.
Real line drive, wasn't it, from Bear?
Yeah, that takes them to 4-1-25, trailing 7-5-47 the Storm, almost half-time on Big Footy, Bendigo's Fresh FM.
So they bring it back in, Strathfield say. John's got it to Brady. Brady just outside the defensive 50. Crone presents centre wing on our broadcast side. Brady goes back to Keelan Payne. So the Storm, who opened with 6 goals in the first term, have only added the 1. The Dragons with 4 in this second quarter. Price knocks the ball loose. Does he know the mark was paid to Jake Heavyside? Joel Wharton didn't want to give the ball back to. So Heavyside's got the footy inside defensive 50, and now it's the Storm who are just struggling to clear the footy all of a sudden, Fitzy.
Yes, there's a bit of... Once you get a couple of scores on the board, it's easy for your forwards to get the sniff and get their defensive mechanism back in place, and that's what's happening with Sandhurst.
Brady's got it again. He chips short. The 2 former cricket teammates combined. Jake Heavyside played alongside one of the great cricketers of all time, those two, Johnny. I won't tell you who that is, but Jake Heavyside's got it at half-back for Strathfield, say.
Jamie Allen, I was going to say, but Heavyside, he'll kick it to true centre wing position, but Martin takes...
I think they might have been in the under-15As here at Strathfield, say. Jamie may not have been in that age bracket.
No, Martin, he'll go. Oh, it's an awkward kick. made height work for the footy, who dived in underneath it. In fact, it's Walsh. Now Walsh with the footy, defensive side of centre. It's a dinky little kick. He finds Wharton. This is Alex. Alex, still defensive side of centre wing, broadcast side. Just weighing up his options. He'll go long and high now. Looks for Thornton, and again...
Why wouldn't you kick it to him?
Another
50
clunker.
And 50. So took the mark and had the ball knocked loose after he took it, and quickly been paid a 50-metre penalty.
He's in a purple patch of form here, and you need to get it to him, you're right. Thornton, every time he goes near the football, he's just clunking them, Fitzy.
He's grabbing cleanly now. There's no fumbles. He's hitting the contest and taking them nicely.
Is he a renowned confidence player in your time, Fitzy, or is he a battler?
No, he's a gem. Once he gets up and about, he's fine. He can play anywhere over the ground. But forward, his kicking's probably been the shortcoming most of the time.
This is Thornton, and that occasion, you're right.
There you go.
Well, you didn't give him a rap, and it was a minor score. So 4-2-26. The Storm, a 7-5-47. It's almost half-time on Big Footy, Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Just sense that one would have brought the margin back to 16 points, and that'd give them a real sniff going into the half-time break. And a missed opportunity goes begging for Sandhurst. Hall's got the football at centre-half back. He wants to switch to the broadcast side and does. Geary, big fly, big mark. Good work, Shannon Geary came over the back of Mitrovic. Marks gets it on the right boot and sends it out wide for Conway. Parry comes at him. Did well to knock the ball loose, but Harry Conway picks it up. Runs to 55 metres out, gets it on the right boot, sends it to the square. Oh, coming in from the side was Payne. Couldn't mark. That's Fergus Payne. Goes to ground with the footy, wrapped up by Minari. Did it get forced across the boundary line, or will it be a ball up? I think it'll be the latter. Right in the right forward pocket. Then Goodrich takes control of proceedings, so Storm camped inside forward 50, 28 and a half gone. They lead by 21 points with an opportunity to hit the scoreboard here.
Beautiful throw up it is by Dean Goodrich. JD won the tap to no advantage. Here's the Dragons underground hand pass. That was absolutely magnificent as the ball comes outside 50. Mitrovic is there. Good, strong, hard tackle. Walsh has got the football now. They dive on him. Callum Brady ties him up as the siren sounds for half-time. We're to the Storm. They are 7-5-47. Sandhurst a 4-2-26 in what was a better performance in that term, Joel.
Yeah, it certainly was. 21-point margin here at the half-time break. So 47 plays 26. The Storm still well and truly in charge of this ball game, but Sandhurst able to get it at least, maybe not back on their terms, Fitzy, but at least apply some pressure and get themselves back into the ball game in that second quarter.
Well, after
his normal form, and Nick Stagg, I don't think he's been influential as well. So if those three players can come out in the second half and get back on top of their game, they've got a lot to look forward to.
Absolutely, height more so out of that group, but I think that as much as Collins has been handy with a few things, I think there's a bit more we can expect from him as well to finish off and contribute to a pretty good side. So I think they've got some upside to work with, but it's going to be hard work.
That it is. 21 points to margin as we start the second half. Both sides are ready. The ball is up in the middle of the ground. Martin and Crone fly. And the Storm are straight in there to try and extricate the football. Callan Smith going through, can't come away with it. And we'll have a secondary ball up in the centre of the ground. I reckon Sam Heavyside's done for the day too, boys. Came off at quarter time and they took his jumper off and looked pretty proppy as he, and a bit maybe woozy as he came off the ground. And he hasn't gone back to the bench to start this second half. So they may be a number down. Good trap from Wharton off a high ball. Hand stands under it. He kicks it into the centre of the ground. Coughlin gets there for the Dragons. That's Lee. Handball now to Blair Holmes, who's a little bit fumbly, then lost the footy. Went back and got it. Thumped it forward, bit of tunnel ball style. Crone slides in. Handball out to Harvey, who goes outside of the boot style. That was very, very clever. Tried to find Stringer. Couldn't hit him up. Holmes went back in for the Dragons, right in front of our broadcast position. Wharton couldn't find Collins, who didn't have clean hands. Fumbled the handball. Wharton goes back in. That's Alex Wharton, besieged by Geary, quickly out toward Price, seen across the boundary line, and right in front of us a minute into this third term, the ball will be thrown back into play.
Collins probably had it sold before he had the footy then. He just looked up.
Uncharacteristic from young Andy. Yeah. Josh Martin's done a good job on him though, a new role for, Brady in the number 22's back out there now.
Yeah, Crone wins the tap. He punches it forward, but Wharton's at the back of the pack, shovels it out in the direction of Stagg. Stagg puts it on the boot, puts it towards the boundary line. Tracking the football there was Fergus Payne for the Storm and just couldn't take possession. So we're in the forward zone here for the Storm. 70 out, broadcast side.
See, they're still trying to get that spare to set up the switch with Simmons sitting off the footy.
With a huge crowd in the house for this Easter Saturday. on Big Footy, Bendigo's Fresh FM. The ball directly in front of us. Hall is in there. Also is Coughlin. Geary just puts it on the boot. A left tinkler down the line, and it goes over the line, and we'll have another ball in. 7:5:47, the Storm 4:2:26. We've travelled 2 minutes into the third on Big Footy, Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Interesting, Lockie Sharp starting off the ground, so Lockie Bonnie's gone forward for Strathfield Say. It's a shallow boundary throw-in on centre wing. Martin probably had better hands of it. Geary wanted a free kick. He didn't get that. Crone and Martin, the two ruckmen, battle at ground level. Hand wraps up Shannon Geary, and we'll have a ball up. Centre wing on the broadcast side of the ground. Again, we see the tackling pressure is certainly fierce to start this second half, Fitzy.
Yes, it's typical of what the first quarter started like. Straight after the half-time break, everyone's at it flat out. So,
and Martin judged to have held Crone out of the ruck contest, so Crone gets the free kick, puts a nice pass on the left boot toward half forward and finds Brad Stringer, who goes round the body inside forward 50, but Martin gets back in the hole as he does so often and so well, and marks across half back, and Big Timmy will try and repel the danger for the Dragons, does, and kicks to Joel Wharton at centre half back.
Wharton off half back, he'll look to take it to the outer side, as they like to do. Well, fumbling footy there. It was the player there for the Dragons was McKinley. Couldn't take possession. The ball tumbles towards the line, and we'll have another throw in.
They were almost out there, Fitzy. Just poor execution from Sandhurst.
yeah, and you can't afford that in your back half.
By with the footy. 2 kicks out from goal towards the Sheepwash end to Sandhurst Dragons end. As the umpire throws it back in, it'll be Martin versus Conway. Martin wins the tap. Wow, flung without the ball there was Wharton. He'll get a free kick off half back, and that was pretty sloppy by the Storm.
So Jolie Wharton's got the football. 3.5 gone in this third term. No change to the half-time score. 21 points the margin in favour of Strathfield Say. Ball still now with the Dragons. They come in board, and Alex Wharton's got it from Martin. So Alex Wharton on the outer edge of the centre square. Still between wing and half back. Chips it short for Coughlin, who picks up, comes inboard. That's a lovely kick towards centre half forward too for his skipper in Holmes. Holmes is marked just forward of centre. Wants to turn and go. Drives a low ball inside forward 50. Mitrovic the target. Hyde out the back. It'll sit for Christian Hyde. He tries to paddle it to his own advantage. Was dispossessed in the back pocket. Good tackling pressure from the Storm. High handball from Heavy side. Got it back in the goal square to Simmons, who drives it towards Moorhead. Can't collect. Spins his way. Well done, Jake Moorhead. Bursts through the back edge of the centre square and kicks to centre wing.
Yeah, contest forms. Bonnie tried to take a one-hander, couldn't. Hands there. He did well. Gives it to Minari. Minari by hand to Price. Price on the true centre wing position. Oh, he's got Parry by himself. 2 kicks out from goal. He'll send it long. Hyde will be there. Up they fly. Oh, front position. Mitrovic takes a good strong mark, and he'll line them up. 45-degree angle, and there's our man, Fitzy.
He's back in touch, front of goal. It'll be nice to see him convert this one. I'm sure we'll get some entertainment out of it if he does that.
The Dragons are swinging the changes on the bench in front of us here, Joel, but meanwhile back at the ranch, Mitrovic kicking to the Tannery Street end for the Dragons. On the left, kicks truly, pumps the air. That's a major. Here come the Dragons, 5-2-32, trailing the Storm 7-5-47 in the opening minutes of this third term, as we thank Bendigo Mitsubishi as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Had to move the source to get to the sponsor sheet there, Johnny. So they're back within reaching distance here, certainly, Fitzy, of the Dragons.
Yeah, they've been very disciplined. Strath have been very good in their forward 50 and creating turnovers, but Sanders been able to get it out and got ball forward and a good grab and conversion from Mitrovic.
So Mitrovic hits the scoreboard. He hasn't been able to do much at ground level today, Johnny, and you've been onto him for that, but certainly in the air he showed he was adept there. So his first in his 99th senior game, and it's a 15-point margin as we're back in the middle. There's Martin down to Collins. Collins to half forward. Walsh crashed in. Simmons out the back for the Storm. Handball to Moorhead. Handball to Hall. Hall gets it now to Harvey, and he's off and running through centre wing. Chasing him down is Holmes. Harvey on the right boot towards half forward for Stringer, who flies. Second grab takes the mark. Brad Stringer's got it left half forward, 65 metres out, wheels around, right boot, long ball. Donaldson flies, in fact, Conway. Look, nothing alike, Johnny. There's about 90 kilos between them. Conway kicks it towards the goal square. Martin had to go through his legs. Right in the last line of defence, Collins gets in there. Back to Robertson on senior debut, does well, does Billy. Did really well, found Price. Price towards half-back, finds Walsh. Dropped it, draws Wharton in support. The Dragons are away off half-back.
Short little kick. He'll be looking there for Green. Green will go now. A long kick, looking for Mitrovic. Mitrovic takes a mark on the true centre wing position. He has got a bit of confidence now on the left. Good, long, strong kick. He'll be looking for Wharton. Couldn't find him, Thornton, and the ball comes back the other way for the Storm.
Yeah, rockets back. Harvey's got it. He goes inside forward 50. He's looking there and finding Clydesdale, who can steady from 35, try to get around Ireland. One way, then back pedals, gets on the right boot. Underground ball towards Donaldson. Didn't favour him at all. Should have gone the first time. McKinley was held off the football. No free kick. Ireland cracks in. McKinley goes back in, puts his head over it. Ball locked up. Right on forward 50 for the Storm on right half forward, and they'll ball it up again. So they didn't quite take advantage of the opportunity. Clydesdale had a crack, couldn't find the handle, and the Storm have got it inside forward 50. Collins is there, gets the clearance. Couldn't find anyone though. His left foot kick went out of bounds on the full, and the Storm will bring it back in through your man Harvey.
This is Harvey. He'll just weigh up a few options. Just waiting for things to open up for him now. He'll decide to go. He'll kick it long down the line, looking for Donaldson. Donaldson underneath the football, couldn't get it. Front and centre, good work was Bonnie, puts it into the forward zone. The Dragons with the numbers, however, comes over to Montague. Montague with a footy, he'll bounce it. Goes over the top to Walsh. It's a cute little kick that was ineffective, in fact, and tumbles over the boundary line, and we'll have another throw in. On half forward for the Dragons, broadcast side, it's 47 playing 32. Thanks to Aussie Disposals as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Sam Heavyside definitely done for the day. He's got the civvies on as he walks behind the broadcast truck. Ball goes to ground level. Hall crashes through. Had an opportunity. Dale Caldwell says no, and a ball up. A little bit more open start to this second term. It was really frenetic early, but it's just opened up a little bit in the last few minutes, Fitzy.
It has, and both sides have probably been disappointed not to have had a shot on goal in the last minute and a half.
Creating opportunities, the both of them. Hall goes in, wrapped up by Stagg, still in between wing and half forward for the Storm. On the broadcast side of the ground, it's balled up again. 9 minutes gone, third term, Storm 7-5, Dragons 5-2, 15 points the margin as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Treading water here again, congested bit of play. They're going in hard both sides. On half forward, ground level, underneath the bottom of the pack was Fergus Payne, and another whistle on play. Throw a blanket over almost, 20 players it feels like. Not quite, but up they go in the ruck again. It'll be Martin, Crone. Martin wins the tap. Again treading water. The ball has just slipped out there by Stagg towards the boundary line. Numbers, however, with the Storm around the body. It's a long kick inside forward 50. Donaldson, Conway sets himself. They don't look anything alike, Joel. You told me that earlier. Still 35 out from goal. You're trying to teach me some lessons as the ball is
you've
kicked.
Just been listening to me too much, Johnny, and that's never a good thing.
I put you up in such high esteem, Joel, that I'm not going to listen to you again. As a free kick and infringement for one out of bounds on the full will go to Trent Donnan.
So Truck Donnan's got it. He's about 55 metres out. In fact, it's going to go to Sharp. So Lockie Sharp in the left forward pocket. Plays on, runs inside, gets to 45, eyes the goals, fires at goal. Lockie Sharp across the face. It would have been something very special, but it's only the one behind. The first score of the second half is a minor one for the Storm, 7-6-48. The margin back to 16 points, 5-2-32 the Dragons. 10 gone third term, thanks to Bendigo Mitsubishi on Bendigo's Fresh FM as the Dragons come into the back pocket and find O'Sullivan.
O'Sullivan with the football. He received a short little pass from Price. Deep in that defensive zone. He'll look to dump it outside defensive 50, which he does. Long, strong kick. Front position there was Martin, the big ruckman. He'll dish it off by hand to Walsh. Walsh tried to go through the pack. Did he have prior opportunity there? I don't think he did. Johns now with the football for the Storm. He'll kick it long, but defensively again, here comes Sandhurst off half-back.
Yeah, Hand took a bounce, paddled it to himself, and then released Parry. And Adam Parry's got a thumping right boot and Height on over the top. That's where he goes. Christian Height will mark top of the goal square. Wanted to play on.
Oh, I reckon he might have.
He was 11 metres out. The 50 would have taken him to 9 metres out, so it would matter very little. Height will go back and kick the goal, and suddenly this ball game will be within 10 points. And here at Tannery Lane, it is well and truly game on. Height comes in, got very close to the man on the mark, but put it through for his second. Margin back to 10, 7-6 play, 6-2, 48-38. The Storm still in charge, but at the 11.5 minute mark of this third term, the Sandhurst Dragons are certainly making their run on Bendigo's Fresh FM, and that is thanks to Bendigo, Mitsubishi and Fitzy. They've got all the momentum at this stage, the Dragons, and hitting the scoreboard.
Yeah, the ball movement's improved dramatically. Again, set up off half-back by hand. He's been very consistent all day, and his pace out of there and disposal was good. But yeah, they've opened it up. They've got more structure going forward. It's a lot better moving in the second half, or from the second quarter onwards anyway.
Thanks for putting those sandwiches in front of me, Joel. I'm going to cop those wops now as opposed to you as they're circling the truck. Ball comes back in the middle. Bear Thornton doing the ruck work now for the Dragons. He didn't win on that occasion. It's going to be the Storm here. In the middle was Donnan. The ball goes back the other way though for Sandhurst. Bouncing footy. Tracking the ball there was Simmons. Couldn't quite get it. They need to keep it in here, the Dragons. Thornton tried to put it over the top but failed. Now it's with the Storm off half back. A little short kick. That's okay. He finds Petrie. Petrie will come inboard looking for Moorhead and finds him. He's in the middle as we speak. Goes to the outer side flank. Can't find a player. Or Harvey. Oh, interesting, awkward little kick. It was effective in the end. They're away here. It's going to be a long ball in. And I reckon that's a goal to the Storm.
Yep, Callan Smith.
Smith has popped it through. So good quick response here for the Storm. That'll take them to 8-6-54. Sandhurst 6-2-38. Halfway through the third. Thanks to Aussie Disposals as we take you inside local sport. Bendigo's Fresh FM, and a really quick response there, Brett Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, it was a great response. Stagg went down the middle of the ground for Sandhurst, and they were one man short in those movements through the midfield, and Storm went through that corridor and got it quickly into the forward line again, and then good conversion.
So Storm are able to hit back. Ball back in the middle with Dean Goodridge. This one will go into orbit as well, Johnny. It's very, very high. Caught the wind as well there from Dean. Thornton goes into the ruck with Martin in front of us. Out, they try and work it out. Thornton goes through again. Holmes battles hard on hands and knees. They can't come out. And a ball up. No, it's going to be a free kick. A little bit of feedback on listening this afternoon is Bryce Curnow, who says that JD may not be too happy with my work pointing out the weight differential between he and Harry Conway. I think I might get a message from JD this week, and I don't think it'll be particularly pleasant. Well done from Xavier Walsh. At half-back for the Dragons, got it to Parry. Parry goes to Dole, who eye the goals that are vacant, flicks it over the top for Height. Height will go over the top for Coghlan. Lovely play, Dragons. Coghlan finishes off with a goal. Dragons built it up really well, moved the ball by hand quickly, and the margin's back to 10. So when the Storm found the answer, the Dragons are able to regain the advantage. 10 points is Strathfield Say Storm's lead, 8-6-54, Sandhurst 7-2-44, 14 and a half gone in this third term. We take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM, thanks to Powers Country Express. The thoughts of the Bendigo Interleague coach, Brett Fitzpatrick.
Good movement and sign of confidence there. 6 handballs leading into a goal, running the ball all the way in, and then an easy conversion for Coghlan. So their confidence is up and they're starting to work a bit harder for each other.
And starting to, even with Thornton in there now, win the footy around the contests too.
Yes.
Alex Powell looks like he's doing the ruck work too. So
yep, the 2 second stringers in there.
As
seen though, Powell's got a hell of a vertical leap on him, doesn't he?
Yeah, he has, and Thornton, he can leap as well. We've seen that with the big clunkers he takes. Thornton won the tap on that occasion. They'll move it forward again to half forward, but defensively off half back with Simmons. He'll transfer the play to Cal Smith. Cal Smith will go down the line and find Conway. Conway now doesn't muck around. He'll turn and go, be looking for Donaldson. Goes over his head. Offering support also was Stringer. We've got a whistle on play as they converge on the footy and the pack. And umpire Goodridge will hurl it back into the air. 54 playing 44. It's a 10-point margin out here at Tannery Lane on Big Footy. Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Up they go. Thornton and Powell to renew acquaintances. Thornton won it down. Moorhead out the back. Spins around. Fires a goal. Oh, almost shepherded through. I think it might have hit the post in the end. So it did. Nice work from Moorhead though off the back of the stoppage. Only a minor score for the Storm. 8-7-55. Plays 7-2-44. 11-point margin. Coghlan nearly took it at half back. Well done from Bonnie. Thumped it across the line out of bounds, and a throw in between wing and half forward for the Storm on the outer side of the ground.
Didn't muck around bringing that ball out, did they? They kicked it in extremely quickly.
Yeah, but that's the confidence they're finding just to move the ball and take some of those risks now, Sandhurst.
Thornton doing the ruck work again. He won it on that occasion, puts it to the back of the pack, which Parry swooped on it. It's an up and under kick into the middle of the ground. It was a poor kick, really. Fergus Payne intercepts now for the Storm. He'll put it inside forward 50, looking for Donaldson. He overran the footy. The Sandhurst will now bring it back the other way. You've seen something off the plate.
That was
there,
the ball flight there from Billy Robertson, Johnny.
The
It was all
old
over the
shank.
shot.
This is Collins. Oh, his handball's intercepted. Hall is there now for the Storm. Didn't give a free kick. And this is Collins again off half back for the Dragons.
Yeah, well done. Just tumbles one down the boundary line. Mitrovic got down nearly to that one. Johnny still couldn't pick it up. Laid the tackle though on Fergus Payne, who dragged it in. Dale Caldwell crosses the arms. And a ball up right in front of us. 55 plays 44. The Storm ahead. The Dragons are coming here at Tannery Lane. 17 gone, third term on Bendigo's Fresh FM. Joel Peterson, John Hunter, Brett Fitzpatrick with you this afternoon as we close out round one in Bendigo football. Wharton through the pack. Tries to get it over the top toward Dole, who goes on hands and knees. He's tackled by Johns. Another ball up will result. Smack bang in front of our broadcast position.
Thank you, Joel.
No worries,
We're going to hand it over. If I can't see them from here, I'm never going to see them.
Very true.
It is Martin, Crone, Coughlin. His kick is smothered. Collins is there. We're 2 kicks out. Good work. Stagg puts it inside forward 50, but the numbers, however, are with the Storm off half back. Good long kick by Smith. He'll be looking for a teammate in Clydesdale. Takes a contested mark. Turns inboard on the left. Puts it inside forward 50. Looking for Sharp. Keeps his feet. He could pick it up. Metres out. He does on the left. Shot at goal. Minor score. Well, good build up there. 8-8-56. The Storm, Sandhurst 7-2-44. 20 minutes into the third. Thanks to Bendigo Mitsubishi as we take you inside Bendigo Sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Yep, nice reading of the play again from Sharp. Been lively in his return this afternoon. 2 goals, 3. Good to see him back and playing with some confidence. Down the line, here go the Storm through the hands of Martin. Payne out the back, that's Fergus Payne. Read it well, but Stagg stole it off him, flicked the handball over the top, and the Dragons might be out on the wing. Wharton shares it with McKinley, who's got a backtrack, did well, measured the ball for Holmes into the centre of the ground, went through the hands of Simmons. Here goes Seb Green, Hyde over the top, Thornton over the top, 2 bounces for Green, closes to 40, fires and kicks a beauty. Here comes Sandhurst, 1 goal ball game at Tannery Lane, nearing time on in this third term. The margin is back to a straight kick, 56 plays 50, thanks to Aussie Disposals. We take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM, and that trademark run is back in Sandhurst's game, Fitzy.
Yeah, and the confidence at the contest. Stagg just coughed one up there off a few voices on the outside, and the guys got to the contest, kept the ball going, then it opened right up, and Strath were no defensive down, so ran straight into an easy open goal in the end for Green.
Let's see if the Storm can respond here as Crone goes back into the middle, up against Martin. 6-point margin. Time clock says 19 and 30. So we're approaching time on. Umpire Goodridge, he'll throw it up in the air. Martin wins the tap. Good work in there. Johns, he swiped on the football. Oh, he's been pinged. I don't reckon he had prior opportunity, but doesn't matter what I say. The ball is with Stagg. In the centre. He'll look to dish it off. Looks one way, then the other. Now he'll kick it long to the outer side. Flew high, there was Hyatt. Couldn't keep his feet. Ball comes out to Crone. Crone by hand, it's nervous. To Conway, he lost it. Smith offers support. Comes out by hand to Simmons. That's okay beyond 50, and they're going to get away with this, Joel.
Yeah, they are. Payne goes short to Bonnie. So Bonnie's got it on the back edge of the centre square for the Storm. Suddenly their margin after they led by 39 in the opening term is back to a kick, and that's an absolute Barry Crocker from Lockie Bonnie. Put it straight down the throat of Liam Island, defensive side of centre wing on the outer side of the ground. 30 seconds into time on in this third term. Ireland comes back inboard looking for Minari, who wants to come toward the broadcast side. Sees an option now running for him in McKinley at half-back. Kick was misdirected. Let Sharp in. McKinley has to go back and get it. Set him a task. Then McKinley's kick is a high up and under ball, which Hall can sit under. Couldn't trap the footy, though. It didn't bounce fortuitously for him. It's over the line. It'll be thrown in between wing and half-forward for Sandhurst. Broadcast side of the ground. Back the Storm into attack it is. 8-8 plays 8-2. The Dragons, after not scoring in the opening term, they have kicked their entire score since and held the Storm to just 17 points in that space.
On half forward for the Storm, it'll be Crone and Martin. Martin wins the tap. Storm have got the numbers. Well, Moorhead goes long, inside forward 50, front and centre is Johns. Couldn't pick up the ball, he's in the area though, he's looked alright, he'll flick it into the hot spot, but the Dragons, here they come. Collins, good little receive, by hand, off half back, they'll bring it up to Holmes now on the wing, takes a chest mark, and remonstration, don't give it away the other way, I reckon they might. Wharton remonstrated, he didn't have to do it, Joel, I don't think.
Yeah,
but
Powell came back, was a little bit careless. They're going to get the 50 anyway, which is probably right. Holmes had the sit. Powell came back with the flight and upended Blair, and I think Wharton was back in there, and now they've got to be wise to it because Blair's got the football. He can stroll the centre half forward, and let's see what they've got. So right on the goal line is where Torum Petrie's going to sit. Holmes will tee it up to the hot spot. Oh, Height, that's a lovely kick, and Height runs into the space. And Christian Height will go back 30 out, 45-degree angle left of centre, and this would tie the ball game. So they've got that space inside forward 50 going. Height's really come alive here in this third term. He's kicked to the Mickelson medalist. Christian Height comes in from 40 metres out on the right boot, leaves it narrow, one behind, 5 points the margin. 8-8 plays 8-3, 56 to 51, 22 and a half gone in the third term. Thanks to Choices Flooring, Bendigo Bulk Carpets, things have really opened up here in this quarter, especially for the Dragons, Fitzy.
Yes, the intensity's increased, but there's more confidence in their ball movement.
Oh, Petrie kicks it in. Sorry, Fitzy, I had to come over the top there. It was just a shank of a kick. Kicked it straight down the throat of Montague, and he's going to line them up for another goal. Geez, that's a coach killer, isn't it?
It is, but you find if the side starts working hard, you make your own luck, and those sort of things will turn your way more often than not.
Now, Montague, that was an absolute Easter gift there, Joel.
Yep.
Wrapped up, and Montague, all he has to do is finish it off. The man on the mark stands at 38. Montague kicks through the football. He's made it work and put it through to the Tannery Street end. Good result. 9-3, 57, and they take the lead, Joel. 8-8, 56. Almost three-quarter time here at Tannery Lane. Thanks to Aussie Disposals as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
The Sandhurst side just seemed to be working a lot harder as a group and a unit and rewarding each other and acknowledging each other, so it wasn't there earlier on, but it's coming quite evident across the ground.
Interesting inside defensive 50. In that passage of play, probably about 3 minutes ago, Billy Robertson and Stagg gave the little handball and took the game on Robertson, so you can see the confidence that they're playing with now, and it's filtering from those big names down through the list at Sandhurst, and well, it's a 40-point turnaround, and they're coming out of the middle here once more. Collins goes inside forward 50. Payne had front spot. Thornton knocked it away from him. Ground level footy for Walsh to Collins. Well done, Payne. Pushed him off the footy. That was Fergus Payne. Brady runs off half back. Kicks to space on centre wing where Conway can track the footy down. It sits for him. He runs around O'Sullivan, gets it by hand to Smith, and then receives the handball and bangs it long toward half forward. Heavyside will fly. Price does well from the back spot. Fist the footy to ground level, but Heavyside did beautifully. Did he keep it in? He didn't. It was a line ball. The umpire said it's mine. And we'll have a throw in 60 metres out from the Storm goal on the outer side of the ground. 57 plays 56. The Dragons, after trailing by 39 points, have hit the front. And they lead by a point, closing it on three-quarter time on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Martin wins the tap. Crone was there. The throw-in probably went to his advantage. Tracking the footy towards the boundary line is Fergus Payne, and it tumbles over and we'll have another ball in. So, interesting here. They've taken the lead by a point. The Storm, they've just come... Sandhurst, they've just come from nowhere. Up they go in the ruck. It's Martin versus Crone again. Stagg is there, puts it on the boot. Bouncing ball into the direction of Walsh. Couldn't pick up the ball. It's 2v1. Stagg offers support. Picks it up. Runs his measure. Inboard to Collins. Here comes Collins. He'll run his measure. Over the top by hand to Thornton. Thornton, if he's good enough. Oh, he's besieged. They've got the numbers here though.
Yep, go on.
Gonski. And a free kick will go back the other way, Joel.
Yeah, well, to the Strathfield say Storm, so they'll move it off half back. 57 plays 56, 25 and a half gone here in this third term of football at Tannery Lane on Easter Saturday. Joel Peterson, John Hunter, Brett Fitzpatrick with you. So they play on now across half back to the Storm. It's a nice ball towards Petrie. Had to battle height. Eventually got the handball away to Simmons. Little underground kick into the centre of the ground. He set his teammate in Bonnie a task. Petrie ran onto it though and shoveled it out to Harvey. Harvey's got Stringer over the top if he can get it to him, and he does. Stringer will collect it half forward. Then had to go back and get it as he had a little bit of a fumble. Price bears down on him. Handball inboard comes to Moorhead. Moorhead to Simmons. Simmons, little moments hesitation, but his kick to half forward was good. And he found Lockie Bonnie, who's too far out to score. Left half forward for the Storm. Low ball. It's a grubber inside forward 50. Stagg left it behind. Payne was there, but his high ball is right off the side of the boot. It'll bounce and stay in play. Coming through with the big double fister off the deck was McKinley. And going to be a free kick here. One of the Storm players has been collected in that contest, I think.
Calling for too high. I see the umpire just tapping the back of his neck.
Sharp? It is, yeah. Lockie Sharp. So, I'm not sure what happened. I think it was off the ball as McKinley came through and went the double fister to try and clear it. So Sharp in the right forward pocket will go back and try and hand the Storm back the lead. He's about 35 out. Tough kick. He'll start his approach from right on the boundary. Lockie Sharp has kicked 2 goals, 3 today. Left footer, so it'll favour him. Comes in, kicks and misses. Tied ball game once more. The Storm 8-9-57. The Dragons 9-3-57. 27.5 gone in this third quarter. Thanks to Bendigo Mitsubishi. On Bendigo's Fresh FM, we take you inside local sport from Tannery Lane.
Cody Price, it must be a set play there, Joel. They seem to go to that little back pocket quite often. Now it's the Dragons looking for Martin beyond 50. He dived after the football. Hit him on the chest, but couldn't mark it. We'll have another ball in. 52 metres out from goal. Doing some pressing here, the Storm. You sense they want to pinch one here.
Yeah, they'd love an answer.
You'd reckon they would. Now, Crone doing the ruck work. Nobody, in fact, went after that ball. I think they had to nominate and they couldn't get near it.
Yeah, it's a free kick because the Sandhurst player touched it off the boundary
right.
throw-in before it bounced.
It was Stagg, I reckon. Now the ball will come inside forward 50 for the Storm. Up they fly. They're going okay here. Wharton handballs it to a teammate who kicks it long beyond 50. Bouncing footy in the direction there of a teammate. Now it's with the Dragons. Off half back. Wharton kicks it up to the true wing position. They're going to come again here. This is Walsh. Walsh's kick is smothered. He'll go after the football to half forward. Contest forms. Ground levels, heavy side. And they did really well. And they're away. Sandhurst off half forward.
Yeah, Height got it to Wharton. Wharton got it to Holmes on the front edge of the centre square. So Holmes has got it. Scores tied at the 29-minute mark. The skipper for the Dragons is 70 metres from Holmes. Sees something he likes and goes to Green.
Yes.
And Seb Green marks 45 metres out directly in front. And he will go back and try and kick his second of the term, his second of the game, and give them back the lead. Again, that good slow build from Sandhurst. So Green handballs off to Price, and Price's kick holds up in the breeze. Thornton flies.
Whistle.
Free kick coming to the Storm on the last line for a push. So it might be heavy side. In fact, it's Stringer who's got back on the last line of defence. So Stringer will take it inside his defensive goal square. 29-minute mark, scores tied, 57 apiece.
Stringer now will drive it long beyond 50, hugs the boundary line. Martin's there, guts a fist into it as a nice little give. Green keeps it in. Moorhead though swooped on the football. He'll kick it beyond 50 along the wing. Picked up there by Sandhurst in Ireland. And the ball will now come to half forward. Up they fly. Price up forward has taken a good contested grab, and he'll look to move it on quickly into the forward zone.
Oh, he moved it on quickly, but he didn't move it into the forward zone. Johnny Wharton dumped Harvey, and that'll be 50. Harvey took the mark, and Wharton threw him to the turf. So 50-metre penalty for Matt Harvey will bring him to centre half forward, and the Storm can set one up as we tick past 30 minutes gone in this term. So some real estate advice from the Sandhurst bench. Here is Matt Harvey, who chips it inside the forward 50. Terrific kick, and Donaldson threw the elbow out there at Coughlin. Maybe a returning serve for the one he copped earlier on at the same end. Didn't connect, thankfully, for JD's sake. Donaldson will go back, and this is certainly not beyond him. He have to kick it from right on the 50. The siren has sounded, as Jock Clark would say, Johnny.
He's not going to play on, Joel.
57 apiece. at the three-quarter time siren. Jaden Donaldson, he's kicked 3 already today. He'll load up on the right boot. Slight angle right of centre. Oh, wow, it's a skew-if shank of a kick. It's out of bounds on the full, doesn't score. So at three-quarter time, after the Storm led by 39 at the first change, 21 at the main interval, at three-quarter time, it's 57 points apiece, and Fitzy, it's all set up to be a thrilling last quarter.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't have picked this first.
So also Stringer, I've been impressed by his game for the Storm. He's a really good young player, a lot of possessions, a lot of the footy.
Yeah, good footy lineage.
Yeah, covers a lot of the ground too. He's back deep, he's up forward deep, and very, very comfortable covering it all.
So the last quarter about to get underway here at Tannery Lane. It was the Storm by 39 at quarter time. They led by 21 at half time. Scores are tied as we head into this last term. Martin and Powell to renew acquaintances in the ruck, and we are away in the final term here at Tannery Lane. Holmes cracks in. Martin feeds the handball out to Price. Got it by hand to Wharton. Wharton on the left boot, a high ball towards half forward. Powell sat under it, couldn't take it. Hall comes out with the football, tries to get a handball clear. Big pack around the play. Dole tumbles one inside forward 50. It skittles the pack. Stringers out the back. Picked up by Coghlan. Handball out to Collins. Collins sees an open goal, fires and kicks it. Oh, what a start for the Dragons. Andy Collins kicks his first of the ball game, his second of the ball game in fact, and now the Dragons lead by 2, 10-3-63. Storm 8-9-57, 40 seconds into this last term. Thanks to Aussie Disposals on Bendigo's Fresh FM, and that's the start that they would have drawn up, Fitzy.
Absolutely, and it came from not much. Holmes bursting into a pack and spilling it out, and then a couple of short scrimmagey kicks, and Coghlan gets a handball out to Collins under pressure, and he converts.
I like having Collins down forward, opportunist. He will make that forward line look even more potent as we come back in the middle. We Martin again in the ruck. Up they'll go. He jumped early. Coghlan swooped on the football, then lost it. Holmes tried to offer support, couldn't get it. It's good, big work through the middle for the Storm. Ends up with Conway. Conway on our drive at long, inside forward 50. They set themselves 48 out from goal, over the top to Moorhead. Moorhead will go around the body looking for Sharp. One-on-one contest. Hannah's there. High ball. Still 30 out. Directly in front, overrunning the football was Clydesdale. But now it's with Price, who'll send it into the middle of the ground, and that was neat.
Yeah, good kick for Stagg. Stagg sends it out wide for Mitrovic. The ball will sit up for him. Wayne Mitrovic collects. Centre wing outer side of the ground. Brushes off the power tackle. Comes back inboard. Poor kicks marked by Hall low down. So Jake Hall on the back edge of the centre square. Sandhurst by one straight kick. They haven't led for much of the ball game, only a few minutes. 2 minutes into this final term on Bendigo's Fresh FM. Moorhead's now got it back edge of the square. Slow build up for the Storm. Into the ground for Hall, and Jake Hall's off and running. Gallops through the centre of Tannery Lane. Goes inside forward 50. Sharp out on a long, long lead. 55 metres out from goal. Gets on the right. Goes inside forward 50. Bonnie couldn't mark. Martin's there. Fed the handball to Coghlan. Coghlan got it out wide to hand, and the Dragons can reload off half back.
Well, it was a dinky kick. Now the contest forms on the wing. Good tackling there by a Stag of Sandhurst. He wins the football. Picked it up, and now he's away. He'll kick it long, one-on-one contest. Thornton's there, but good defensive mark there by the Storm, and they'll rebound off half back through Petrie. A whistle on play, and a good mark has been taken on the outer side wing.
Yep, Cal Smith.
Smith with the footy, 57 playing 63. It's the Dragons now. Just waiting. He goes short to Moorhead.
On.
That's okay through the middle. Little ordinary kick, or it comes out here to the broadcast side. We've got a player on, one-on-one. It's with the Storm. Good work there it was by Donnan. Donnan now drives it to 50. Needs to keep their feet. They did. That was Geary. Oh, Wharton grabbed at his hamstring there for a minute. I thought might have been a bit of a cramp, and it tumbles over the line. 70 out from goal. It's the Storm 57. The Dragons 63. Thanks to Aussie Disposals as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Just about as deliberate as you'll get from Alex Wharton, that one. Handball, looked up, found the boundary line, did it beautifully. Martin fires it back in. Donnan went up in the ruck. He was the nominated ruckman. Came out the back to Holmes, to Stagg, to Green. Runs through centre wing. Left foot kick to Height is absolutely pinpoint perfect. Height's got it 50 metres out. Vacant goal square, can load up. Payne gets back there though to plug the hole. Thornton gives him a lead to the top of the square. He goes shorter than that and finds Mitrovic. So Mitrovic's got it. It'll be right on the 50 here. Left of centre, slight angle, kicking to the Sheepwash Creek end, where most of the goals in this ball game have been kicked to today.
He's going to hate this job, but it reminds me a bit of Timmy Wicks when he kicks the footy on the left.
So here is Mitrovic. He's kicked one in this ball game. Comes in. It's a long ball. It's a straight ball. Main Mitrovic goes whack. Dragons 2 goals to the good. 4.5 gone in this last term of footy at Tannery Lane. Thanks to Bendigo Mitsubishi. We take you inside local sport in Bendigo's Fresh FM, and he's shown a bit in this second half as Big Metro, Fitzy.
Yeah, he's not getting much respect from the opposition. He was on his own inside 50 and they just slotted it up to him and he's converted. So the big fella's taken advantage.
Wixie would have kicked it, wouldn't he, Joel? Surely.
Yeah, I'm sure Timmy Wicks would have.
Actually,
he wouldn't have hand passed it.
From that distance, actually, players like that enjoy having the long, strong kick at goal because they don't have to muck around with it. As we come back in the middle of the ground, be Martin doing the work for the Dragons again. He's been winning the tap. Oh, jeez, what a jump that was! Through the middle will come. It's with the Dragons. Dole puts it on the boot to half forward. One-on-one contest we've got there. Walsh shovels it out in the direction of Mitrovic. He'll go around the body. Coughlin is there, bouncing footy. So is Thornton. Wrong side of the post, and we'll have another throw in.
They've got all the running at the moment, don't they, the Dragons? They're winning the ball at the source and moving it forward really quickly.
57 playing 69, and deep in that forward zone for the Dragons.
5.5 gone in this final term. Hard up against the left hand behind post. The ball's thrown back into play. Powell and Thornton go up in the ruck. Out the back. Simmons ran past the footy for the Storm. Dale Caldwell crosses the arms and says, I'll have it, thanks, gents, and we'll have a ball up as the wind starts to pick up here. Still blowing towards that Sheepwash Creek end. It's the end that Sandhurst kicked with in the final term. Powell went up and won it down again. Storm flick a handball out the back. Stringer tracks it down toward the boundary line. Brady's there as they release toward half-back. Can't get the ball there as Stringer and Montague have a little bit to do with each other, and two likely customers, those two. Brody Montague just decides, I might run away from this one and save myself putting Brad Stringer over the fence, which is probably a good move.
Likes having a dip, does he?
So in the left forward pocket, 40 metres out, will be thrown back in. I would say that you could characterise them both as liking to have a dip, Johnny.
Well, I'm a man of love, Joel, so I wouldn't know. It's Thornton and Conway. Conway taps it in the direction of Simmons. Ends up with Montague, who'll go around the corner. Long hard ball. Mitrovic there, strong! Couldn't quite... he caught it on the... he dragged it in. He put the player to his left or right, whichever side it was, Joel. Yeah. But he just held him out and then grabbed the footy with the other ball, put it into his shoulder, into his chest, and then took a good, strong grab.
Protected the space really well, didn't he, Fitzy?
Yep, absolutely. Typical high, tall forward, so he's played very well.
Show of strength. Mitrovic, he's second in about 2 minutes. A lot closer on this occasion.
Oh, wow.
And muffed it. And I reckon that proved my theory correct, Joel.
Tried to kick that one to Junadon, Johnny.
Yeah, so just snuck it in for a minor score, in fact. So it's 11-4-70 and the Storm are 8-9-57. We've travelled 7 in the last on Big Footy, Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Good opportunity to say good afternoon to our good friend Ron Rogers, who of course brought the saying across the face into vogue. That one certainly was across the face. Ronnie, the boy from Eagle Hawk, will be listening. He'll be back for breakfast early next week here on Bendigo's Fresh FM. Here's Brady in the back pocket. He tees it up outside defensive 50. Martin went up there and then Geary came over the top and got nothing of the ball apart from maybe the back of Timmy Scone. So Martin will take the free kick between wing and half forward for the Dragons. Cody Price is saying, yep, Marto, handball it at me. Tim Martin just loads up on the right peg, sends a long ball inside forward, 50, over the back, Montague flew. It's off hands, it's over the line, it'll be throwing in the left forward pocket. They've really dominated play in this last term and locking it in their forward half, Fitzy, the Dragons.
Yeah, they've come out with all the enthusiasm, physical strength, and it's hardly gone over the centre circle for Strath.
Cronin Thornton will do the work now, the ruck work, hard up against the point post. Up they'll go in the ruck. A lot of players around this footy. Walsh is circling in the direction, but picked up by Green, quickly banged it on the left and just might have snuck a minor score in. He has. And the Dragons go to 11-5-71. Storm are 8-9-57. 8 minutes into this final term, thanks to Bendigo Mitsubishi, as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
So the wind is picked up appreciably here in the last few minutes, and the ball down in the creek and being fetched by an eager young man down there. Well done. Chucks it back to Torrin Petrie. Yeah, you might get a can of Coke for that, I'd say. Good work. So Petrie brings the footy back into play. into the back pocket, finds Harvey. Storm under pressure, 14 points down now. They led by 39 earlier in the game at quarter time. Donaldson, really good mark at half back, and then just receives a little bit of treatment, does JD, from McKinley, who receives a bit of treatment from Callan Smith. So the big man JD will get up off the deck. He's kicked 3 this afternoon, was certainly lively in that first half. Plays on, which maybe isn't quite in his wheelhouse, and kicks into the centre of the ground. Dole's after the footy. O'Sullivan's there. Oh, Sullivan knocked Dole over. That's not what you want from your teammate. Handball from Simmons. Popped out the back to Crone at half forward. The Storm will go inside forward 50. Sharp one-on-one. Dragged to the ground by hand. Oh, Sharp springs back up to his feet. Collects and goals. Terrific stuff inside forward 50 for the Storm. They both went down like 10 pins, and Lockie Sharp came straight back up and pounced on the opportunity, and the margin is back to 8 points. And we have just ticked past the 10-minute mark here in this last term. The Dragons 11-5, the Storm are 9-9, thanks to Bendigo's, well, thanks to Aussie Disposals on Bendigo's Fresh FM, and a very valuable goal for the Storm, Fitzy.
That was good work, something out of nothing, but Sharp's got the opportunity. When you get it in there quickly, one-on-one, he's fairly creative.
Back in the middle, that'll be Crone back against Martin. They've had a good contest this afternoon. Good finish brewing here out at Tannery Lane as the umpire throws it up in the air. Martin won the tap. Stagg swooped on the football on the left, kicks it quickly inside forward 50. Good lead there by Collins, who took an easy mark in the end on the chest. Not much angle to speak of. I'll straighten him up, but he's got the leg for this, Fitzy. Won't be a problem, probably 50 out.
It shouldn't be an issue in all parts of it, except it's just that little bit of breeze down that end, so you've got to be over the ball and putting it through.
This is Collins with the ball. He's going to take responsibility, won't dish off. He's got Walsh sneaking down in the pocket if he wants to use him, but won't go there. Here's Collins. Slow, deliberate, long, high ball. It'll go to the line, and it's a goal. Right on the goal line. Must have been only millimetres in it, but it's to the good. The Dragons 12-5, 77. The Storm are 9-9, 63. 12 minutes into the last. Thanks to Choices Flooring, Bendigo Bulk Carpets, we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
That was good work out of the middle. Stagg on the run and fly and just put it on the left foot, and you make your own luck. Collins let out and landed on his lap, so a quick turnaround.
Yeah, valuable answer for the Dragons. Their forward lines functioned really well in this second half, Fitzy. They got Hyde up there as a bit of a small and playing out of the goal square.
Yeah, and the delivery going in's improved a lot as well. It's getting in there quicker.
Yep, back in the middle. This time Conway up in the ruck against Martin. Out the back, the ball flicks, and it's a foot race, 2-on-1. Walsh gets there first for the Dragons, but pokes it only as far as the chasing Geary and Heaviside. Geary picks up, evades parry. Handball to Jake Heaviside was clever. He runs through the defensive side of centre wing and sends it up for Hall. Back with the fight. Good grab. Hall's got the football, 60 metres out from goal. Donaldson on a lead. Sharp wants it over his head, back towards the top of the square. Hall plays on and says, Lockie, I see you, my friend. He kicks to the top of the square. Sharp was wrestled off the football by hand. There wasn't a lot of science in it. There was no free kick, though. Hand did well, kept the footy alive, but then saw it across the boundary line. It'll be thrown back in the left forward pocket, 20 out from the Storm goal.
I reckon that might have been a free kick, Fitzy. What do you reckon, Sharp? I reckon he and hold him on that occasion.
Oh, they're probably even. No frees have gone either way today, but I reckon they're probably 3 each.
12-5, 77. The Storm 9-9, 63. 13 gone last term on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Umpire fires it back in. Good collect there by Martin. Couldn't quite get it away by hand. Oh, a Storm player might have got one too high. That's Donnan. He was away anyway, I think, Joel, so it might have been the only thing they could do to try to hold him up. And he's given him a free kick. 45-degree angle, and he'll start his run up right on the paint mark of 50. So they're not out of this, Fitzy, the Storm, by any stretch, if he can put this one through.
No, they get this and it's, the game's on. It's just clean entry into your 50 helps.
Donnan, long ball, over the umpire's hat. Looks good. It's a major. Good, nice kick that was for the Storm. 10-9, 69 the Storm, trailing Sandhurst 12-5, 77 as we are halfway through this final term, thanks to Aussie Disposals, as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Good finish from Donnan, and he's able to bring the margin still back to that 8 points. They're going goal for goal. We didn't see much of that early in the game, Fitzy.
No, not at all. It's quite entertaining at the moment, but something will break. One of these sides is going to fall apart.
You're going to pick it, Fitzy?
No.
Give us a winner. Get off the fence.
I'll stick with my early suggestion. Sandhurst by about 3 or 4.
Oh, the number 1 boundary rider's calling a draw, Joel.
Oh, Shaney Cole down in front of us. Up they go in the ruck again. It's a bold prediction from Shane. Thornton and Conway are in the middle. It's shovelled out by Walsh for the Dragons, but they only can work it backwards. Parry goes through. He can't come away with a clean possession. Dale Caldwell crosses the arms and will ball it up again. 14.5 gone final term as the sun is getting ever lower in the sky here at Tannery Lane. On Easter Saturday footy on Bendigo's Fresh FM, Moorhead quick kick away from the stoppage towards half forward. Wharton socketed it back straight to Jake Moorhead, who flicks a handball over the top looking for Johns. Couldn't find him. Back to Alex Wharton. His tumbled kick into the centre of the ground finds Brady. He gallops through the centre of Tannery Lane, goes inside forward 50, sharp the target, can't mark. Montague ground level was absolutely fair dinkum, coat hanging by Donnan. It was laundry day at Trent Donnan's house. He was hanging them out. And Montague's got it inside the defensive 50 and kicks wide, and Thornton takes a really good mark between wing and half back.
Yeah, good clunker from Thornton, but Montague gets back up, just shakes it off. Thornton now kick it long down the line, looking for Mitrovic. Got his hands on the football, keeps it in, then now we go around the body on the left, didn't really look. He was looking for Coughlin, couldn't find him, but it's going to come back the other way with the Storm. Into the middle of the ground, the big man overran the footy, couldn't get it. Long ball, inside forward 50 for the Storm. Sharp is there, front and centre. Umpire lets it go. Geary tracks the football, he'll go around the body looking for Sharp. Hits him on the chest, 30 out directly in front.
Good lead from Sharp. That was clever playing. Good awareness from Geary too, Fitzy.
Yeah, great work. They worked very well together in that, and the Strath deserve an opportunity on goal. Their efforts inside the 50 then were fantastic.
Important kick this for Sharp. This will draw them ever so close. 77 playing 69. And it's a goal. Straight through the middle. Well, the Storm, they're coming. 11, well, what's that make it, Joel? That makes it 2-point margin.
Yep.
So it's 11-9-75, and they are trailing 12-5-77. 17 minutes have gone in this last term, thanks to Bendigo Mitsubishi, as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
So they've answered the challenge here, Fitzy, the Storm.
They have. It is entertaining football, and you get it inside the forward 50 quickly, and those two small forwards, Geary and Sharp, combined very well.
Thought they might have had the running Sandhurst and they were going to come right over the top, but 2 goals to Strathfield, say, through Lockie Sharp, and they're back in the picture. Up they go. Thornton wins it down. Dragons out of the middle. Coughlin, high ball, inside forward 50. Mitrovic stands under it. Stringer thumps it away. It's picked up by Harvey, and he's off on half back. Kicks it down the line for Brady, who marks on centre wing. Caelan Brady's held up, then feeds it back by hand to Harvey, who shows a clean pair of heels. Goes inside forward 50. Nice kick and a good mark from Powell. Alex Powell's got the footy. Left half forward, inside the forward 50. Haul the target, over the back. Geary through his hands. Sharp picked it up, snapped on goal for the lead. No. Bounces across the face. And it is out of bounds. It'll be a throw in. Right forward pocket. Dragons 12-5. Storm 11-9. 2-point ball game. 18 gone here at Tannery Lane in a thriller on Bendigo's Fresh FM. Joel Peterson, Brett Fitzpatrick, and this man, John Hunter.
Storm are pressing here. It's deep in that forward zone. Oh, we've got it swooped on the ball. Payne goes around the body. Oh, it was close. Right above the point post, I reckon.
Yeah, went over the stick.
For a minor score, 11-10-76. 1-point margin, 12-5-77 Sandhurst. We've gone 18 minutes in the last, thanks to Bendigo Mitsubishi, as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Luke O'Sullivan with the kicking in duties for the Dragons. Thumps it a low ball toward Thornton. Why wouldn't you kick it to him? But it floats over the back. The Storm will come back in. Harvey delivers inside forward 50. Superb kick finds Johns. Sean Johns appealed for a 50, and I think he may have known that he dropped the football as opposed to had it knocked loose. So Johns will go back from 50 metres out, and he's usually a good user of the football. He's kicked one this afternoon, and this would give the Storm back the lead. Kicking to the Tannery Lane end. Sean Johns starts his approach from 48 metres out. His right foot kick is high, it is straight, and it gives his side a 5-point lead. Johns' second takes the Storm to 12-10-82. The Dragons at 12-5-77. Thanks to Bendigo Mitsubishi, we take you inside local sport. 19 gone in the last term on Bendigo's Fresh FM, and now it's up to the Dragons to try and find the answer here, Fitzy.
Absolutely. The Straths are composed, and as we said earlier, it's that neat forward entry in getting a hit up target inside your 50 for a shot on goal makes it a lot easier when you're trying to convert. So, yeah, Sandhurst have to get a clearance and try some structured movement.
5-point margin now. Can the Dragons come again? They're kicking to the sheepwash end as they go in the ruck. Martin wins the tap to the back door. He's looking for Parry, couldn't find him. Holmes, as usual, at the bottom of the pack, manages to get it out. Kicks it long inside forward 50. Good work by Stringer.
It, didn't he?
He did, but the ball was held up by Mitrovic. He'll push it out to Wharton. Wharton now, a long, high ball inside forward 50, looking for Thornton. Couldn't get it. We're only 35 out from goal for the Dragons. Ends up with the big man. The ruckman, of course, is Crone. Crone will now go laterally, send it to the opposite side of the ground, and they'll slow it right down, Joel.
Brady's got the footy as we tick toward time on in this last term. Storm by 5 points. Dragons hit the front by 14 points earlier in this quarter, and now the Storm have come right back. Here's Harvey, in fact Moorhead, who drives them inside forward 50 toward Harvey. Parry got hands to it, knocked it down to ground level. Ireland collects. Oh, big Adam Parry tube straight down the guts here at Tannery Lane. Goes inside forward 50 from defensive 50. It was a bit of Dusty Martin stuff about that. Conway had it lost, then tried to get it out to Keelan Payne. Mitrovic had it. He was taken and was adjudged to have been holding the ball.
Oh, he threw it, he said.
Yep. It's probably there, that free kick. Dale Caldwell right on the spot. Good tackle, Keelan Payne. He'll take the free kick from centre half back. 20 and a half gone. Final turn. The Storm 12-10. The Dragons 12-5. And it is the Storm over the defending premiers by 5 points.
This is Johns now. He'll receive the ball off half-back. He runs 3 bounces, 4 bounces. Oh, he might lose. He's going to be pinned on Mitrovic. Came from actually nowhere for a man with no speed. He did pretty well then. Now a long ball into the middle. Conway's there. He jumps, bounces off his chest. Parry's there. Conway, first one to recover. Dishes it off by hand. Finds Simmons. Simmons lost it. Oh, over the top there, Mitrovic. That was a bit too severe. It was. The free kick was there. He came over the top of Simmons and got in the back of his neck, back of his scon, and gives away a free kick. Just forward of centre here for the Storm. Gets up gingerly, Sam Simmons. He's been good this afternoon. He's had a lot of the football. He's got Moorhead, goes short. Still probably brings it to this side rather than the opposite. Now inside forward 50, looking for Donaldson. Big punch. Harvey is there, front and centre. Donaldson got a toe poke on it. Harvey, ran with the he took a mark. Gutsy mark, young man. 35 out, not much of an angle. Didn't take his eyes off the footy there, Brett Fitzpatrick.
Great grab. Fantastic grab. Going back with the flight of the ball with people coming at him. He deserves to finish it off now.
Did I go on up an octave because it was a hard job?
I think you did, Johnny. It was only because it was him. He could have dropped it and you still would have called the living daylights out of it.
Any player that runs with the fly of the ball like that, Joel, like I used to when I was playing.
Especially when he's one of your men.
This is Harvey. I'll get a good look at this ball. It's long. It fades. And it's a minor score they could have done with that one. 12-11-83. Storm. Sandhurst 12-5, 77. 22 minutes in the last. Thanks to Aussie Disposals as we take you inside local sport on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
So Cody Price entrusted with the kick-in duties. 22 and a half gone. Final term. He's just going to whack it long straight down the guts towards Martin. Why wouldn't you? Power over the top. Great grab. From the back, Powell came soaring over the top of Martin and takes the mark on the front edge of the square. Storm a goal to the good. Powell thumps it back inside forward 50. Geary with the sit. Ireland comes back with the flight. 30 out from the Storm goal. Green takes a hit. O'Sullivan had it knocked out of his hands. Free kick. Free kick. Umpire said he had prior opportunity.
Oh, to square it up too, Joel.
And it'll be Matt Harvey who has the football. 45 metres out, 45-degree angle right of centre. Harvey missed the last. He will go back and try and give them a 2-goal lead, and it's a very, very important kick. They've come from 14 points down in this term. Harvey comes in. He missed the first one left. He misses that one right, and he missed it by a long way. It's only one behind. However, it's an important point because it's a 2-possession game. 12-12 plays 12-5. 7 points the margin. 84-77. 23 and a half gone on Bendigo's Fresh FM. Thanks to Powers Country Express. A thriller at Tannery Lane.
Oh, they've moved it outside 50 now. The Dragons. A long kick by Minari. Looking for Big Bear Thornton. Got his hands on it. Defensively, they've done well over there, the Storm. And they've put it over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Got to keep attacking here, Sandhurst, don't they, Fitzy?
Yeah, it's a game you have to take the risks now, and that's where it can open up against you promptly, but you have to take the risks.
Just about to tick over the 24-minute mark. 84 playing 77. It's the Storm. Up they go in the ruck. Pack forms. We're going nowhere quickly. Holmes out of the back of the pack. Somehow ended up with the football. Now he'll drive it long. But intercepting mark there is bait taken by Donnan off half-back, who's been pretty good this afternoon, Joel.
Yeah, he's just pulled up with a little bit of a cramp there across half-back as the big truck. So he sends it out wide to Moorhead in front of the scoreboard that reads 24 and a half minutes gone in the last turn. The Storm 12-12. The Dragons 12-5. On Bendigo's Fresh FM, we take you inside local sport. Moorhead down the line looking for Powell. Over the back it was read best by O'Sullivan, who pokes one back toward half forward, but it's a shocker and it's marked by Caelan Brady, who fills the hole in between wing and half back on the outer side of the ground. So Brady looks for an option, finds one short. Hall gets up high and takes the mark. In fact, so the Storm have got it in front of the scoreboard. Hall pokes his kick into the centre of the ground. That's a good one too. And he's found Simmons, and now the Storm can set something up from just on the outer edge of the centre square.
Simmons goes long. You're looking for Harvey. Took a nice strong grab.
Had a big last quarter.
Yeah, he's too far out to score, Joel. He's got players breaking for him. He now looks to go. He'll kick it long. It'll be inside forward 50. Sharp is not the man. He's out of position. He's pretty good in these situations. Dragons, they're calm. Cool to the back door to Price. Price will come to Christian Hyatt. He'll have a bounce. Second bounce. He'll look inboard, and that's the way he goes to Bear Thornton.
Yeah, terrific kick from Hyatt. Finds Thornton in the centre of the ground here at Tannery Lane. 25 and a half gone. Storm by 7 points. Thornton inside forward 50. Collins at the back can't take it. Brady lends support and tumbles the Storm outside defensive 50. Toward Bonnie. Wouldn't sit for him. Walsh got in there. Forced the 50-50. Coghlan at ground level. Battles with Conway. Conway picked it up. Handball quickly to Smith. Donnan left it behind. Collected by Thornton. Went back and got it. Handball to Conway. Conway drives the Storm long towards half forward. Geary sits under it and takes a beauty. An absolute ripper of a mark from Shannon Geary. Well forward. Played on. Goes into the pocket. Looks for Payne and finds him. Fergus Payne's got it. 40 out, tight angle, right forward pocket in front of the Storm faithful. He's pulled up with a little bit of cramp.
They're all cramping, aren't they, Joel?
It's been a tired and torrid affair this afternoon. And Payne, who's not a noted goal kicker, will go back and try and finish this one off. He'll start his approach from behind the boundary line. The Storm are 7 points to the good at the 26.5-minute mark. All the fans right at his back. Tough kick. Payne on the right boot, set sail for home. It's across the face. They'll fly. Donaldson's up, can't take it. Fisted back towards the goal square. Geary off the ground, kicked it. Shannon Geary's kicked right off the deck. Storm ahead by 13 points. That might do it at the 27-minute mark. 90 plays 77. It was thumped back towards goal, and Geary with one of the great opportunist moments. 27 gone last turn thanks to Aussie Disposals on Bendigo's Fresh FM.
A great finish to Geary. He's just always around there. He's dangerous. You can't let him get away, and there's only about 6 inches in that, I reckon.
They can't win here. They need three straight kicks. They're not going to do this in a game that's been hard and tough like this. There must be only a minute or two remaining. Geez, jumping high again is Powell. He's just been going far too early against Martin. The Dragons here a chance through Hyatt, who's moved into the centre of the ground after spending a long time forward. But a whistle on play, and the umpire just marginally forward of centre.
They've thrown Clydesdale to be the man behind the play and sitting 2 off the back of the stoppage as well, the Storm.
Up they go in the ruck again. Geary is there, the man that kicked the last goal there for the Storm, and another whistle on play. So it's 90, playing 77. 3 straight kicks to win it. We're in the shadows of full time, Joel. Brave man to call it from here.
What a fight back this has been from a Storm. A 27-point final term turnaround. In the middle of the ground they go. Parry shovels it out to Green. Green by hand looking for Hyatt, finding him, but turning around, but turning into trouble was Christian Hyatt, quickly wrapped up by Hall, and a ball up 55 out from the Dragons' goal. 28 and a half gone final term. The Storm by 13 points, and the Dragons would absolutely need a miracle. Although, Johnny, it's a good weekend for that if you're after one. Martin goes up, wins it down, out the back. Dragons with numbers, but the Storm are first there. It's paddled toward the boundary line by Brady, who's seen a cross. Free kick for a bit of high contact, and it's on the outer side just briefly. Holmes is in there. Brady's in there. Heavyside's in there as well. And it's
Another
now going to be 50. So that'll throw the game away for Sandhurst. So it was on the outer side. They've given away a 50, and the Storm will take it to half forward, can set up and try and lock it in their forward half, and that will be the ball game. 13-12-90 the Storm, the Dragons 12-5-77. They led by 14 points in this final term, the Dragons. And the Storm have come back with an absolute run, and they're going to pinch this one over the reigning premiers in round one.
This is Brady. He's going to eat as much time as he possibly can.
Brady's coming off with the blood rule, I reckon, Johnny.
Righto. So
that'll be Brad Stringer over there.
Stringer. Add one up for the stats man.
And he's going to walk off the ground, and that's probably pretty smart.
Yeah, well, it is smart. Are they going to blow the siren as he's walking off, Joel?
Well, probably not.
No. Stringer with the footy. So a lot of players have moved inside that forward zone now for the Storm. There's no one up forward there for the Dragons. They can't win it from here. It's 90 playing 77. So a fair bit of claret too coming from his nose there, Joel, as he comes off in front of us. As the ball is with Stringer, we'll wait till he comes off. Brady, good effort. Montague comes on as Coughlin comes off there for the Dragons. Now the whistle has been blown. Stringer should hang on to it. He'll hang on to it and now look for an option to open up for him down forward. He'll send it long and strong looking for Donaldson. Big pack, Conway's amongst it. Comes to ground level. They all dive on the football and the umpire will throw it up. 38, 40 metres from goal. 13-point margin. It's the Storm and we're almost at full time out here at Tannery Lane on Big Footy, Bendigo's Fresh FM.
Yeah, they're going to hang on, the Storm. They're going to add their name to the winners list in round one, and the Dragons will fall to 0-1 in their premiership defence as they started the season last year in this very fixture. McKinley off the back of the stoppage, kicks it to Height. Height's off and racing at half back, evades a Simmons tackle, runs through centre wing, kicks up towards half forward, finds Collins. Absolutely no one home. Walsh leads into space and Thornton thumps it toward him. Walsh goes back with the flight. Payne was equal to the task. Well done, Keelan Payne. Kept the footy alive. Siren sounds, Storm win. Siren sounds and the Storm win. They led by 39 at the opening change. The Dragons fought back to lead by 14. And the Storm have run over the top of them here at Tannery Lane. The final score 13-12-90 to Sandhurst 12-5-77. And Brett Fitzpatrick, that is a very, very impressive win from Strathfield Say.
Yeah, it was a great win, and it's probably, you look at the scoreboard and it's deservedly so. It's 25 shots on goal to 17, so they've controlled the scoreboard pressure for the bulk of the day. They had a little lapse in that second and third quarter where the Sandhurst guys built up the pressure and momentum, but they were able to bounce back. That a great win.
Yeah, it was